Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How we doing tonight? Sorry about that. Running through some technical difficulties. I had to update my software and hardware, all that stuff. So it looks like we're good to go. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Hello, Coke Benny. Welcome to the stream. I hope we can get the other guys back. I think I saw Kavos as well. Yeah, we're back, guys. Back with another live stream. And yeah, man, I have some work. I've been very, very busy. So I have some work that I need to do. And but we can also see if we can listen to some background noise. And the background noise tonight is going to be the Andrew Tate, Bonnie Blue podcast, I believe they did on the Disruptor podcast. Hold on. It says streams bitrate is lower than recommended. We recommend, hold on, what does this say? 6,000 is lower. We recommend 2,3,500. Okay, so let me see if I can fix that. Can I fix that? Let's see. Let's see. 2,3,500. Let's see if that works. All right, refresh the page. Hopefully that will get everything working again. Let's see. All right. Yeah, this is talk about a rough evening, man. Hopefully everything will work now. But yeah, it's good to see you guys back again. I know it's been kind of a crazy week in terms of news happening in the world. I know that Donald Trump has, I believe, sent some missiles into the war zone. I looked into that, actually. Let's talk about that real quick, because I have, let me see where I can find that. Actually, let's bring it to the talking part here. All right. So where did I see it? I think it was right here. Okay. So let's read this. Donald Trump says, we have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention on this matter. So that is pretty much the current news about that. It looks like it says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth. Okay. Well, hopefully this is going to be a smooth stream. Hopefully, it's saying that there's a little bit of errors, but we'll just continue on. Hopefully, YouTube will stitch itself up. So it's Coke Benny came back. He says there's been a lot of ICE agents where I live. Thankfully, I'm a citizen. Oh yeah, I mean, same too. I think I was mentioning a couple streams that, you know, there are some people getting deported currently at my job, and other people as well have been reporting that ICE agents have been around scooping people up, you know, and it's just wild to me that people are still, you know, just carrying on with their lives, hoping that it doesn't happen to them. And but I mean, the biggest indicator is if you do not speak English. So, Cook Bay says there's a bit of lag. Yeah, that is something that I'm monitoring right now. It says we're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So, unfortunately, I don't know what I can do to fix this. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know. Hopefully it works out. I'm gonna play a video, and hopefully it will hopefully not lag too much. Let me know if it does. So let's check this one out. This is the Andrew Tate, Bonnie Blue podcast. So yeah, it looks like the video is kind of laggy too.
I'm just a clever slut.
You are the perfect end result of feminism. That's destructive.
By the time you finish calling me a whore, I'm going to leave this chair with a wet patch.
Rob, the world's bring the asteroid.
Okay. I was not expecting this podcast with Andrew Tate and Bonnie Blue. Oh, this is actually going to be background noise for what I actually have to do. I have a project I have to do for a client. So we're going to be listening to this while I do that project, because I told him I would do the work while on stream, because it's a very simple idea. It's basically graphics that I need to toss together, and I told him I would be able to do it. So let's let's play this.
Do you think you're a good
And
role model for women?
this is what I'm working on here.
What women have fought for
Oops,
years.
hold on.
So sleeping with 1,057 men in a...
To give you guys some context of what I'm doing here, I have to do this Green Lantern, these two into this design. And then also he wants me to take the face of this woman and superimpose it over this one, but make it in the same style of this black and white. So I told him I will figure out how to do that. So we're gonna start with this one first, the circles, because it should be pretty easy to do. So, but yeah, if you guys have anything you want to say in terms of the thing, the podcast, or if you have any questions, I will be monitoring everything you guys will say. So let me make sure I have it up on my phone as well, so I don't miss it. Man, this has been a struggle stream so far. Sheesh. Hopefully I can edit all this out. Okay. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what they got to say.
day.
It's good work ethic.
We live in clown world, and I just enjoy the circus.
Sex workers help reduce rape rates by over 30%.
Do you think Andrew Tate is guilty of the charges against him?
You like there's no way out for you.
You're so trapped in the matrix.
You're judging me, Andrew.
Feminism is a bullet that a man has shot.
Do you send your son to Bonnie?
Andrew, I do father and son as well. Brother and brother?
It's all disgusting to me.
I heard they call you Cobra Tate. Are you packing a python?
Bonnie.
I would have killed it to survive.
Let me know if it's lagging at all.
Women for money.
Imagine how powerful our baby would be.
Survivor DNA.
See, it's tighty.
Would I Bonnie for all the power in the world?
Yeah. Andrew, what do you think of Bonnie Blue sleeping with 1,057 men?
How honest should I be out of 10?
11.
I want you to be honest.
You want me to be honest?
Yeah, go on.
I don't understand why men sit here and try and lecture you about it. I don't understand why men sit here and say you shouldn't do it. It's your body, your choice, right? This is the world we now live in. This is the end result of feminism. You are the perfect end result of feminism. In the world I believe in the conservative, traditionally masculinely ruled world, a man would be in charge of his daughters until they're handed over to their husbands or boyfriends, and there would be a degree of masculine guidance. But feminism didn't want that. You know, women complain that men don't want to get married. We did actually want to get married when we got obedient virgins, but they disappeared, and they complained about the patriarchy, and they were tired of us giving them a house to live in and kids to raise, and they wanted to make their own choices. So she's making her own choice. That's a fantastic thing. I actually have a lot of respect for you because you own it and you're honest about it.
What if it was your daughter?
Well, that won't happen.
But she's her own person.
I never said my daughter's her own person. I said I said
Are you
women
gonna
want to
be
be
a-
their own people. But my point is, there's so many women who go to Magaluf for a weekend and do something very similar, and then they come back to England and get with some fucking guy and start asking for presents from him and talking about how they deserve a traditional relationship and they want to get married and they want a Christmas present and all this bullshit. Most women do exactly what Bonnie does. I don't see you any different than most women. And I'm not saying that in a degradation
Most women
way.
don't sleep with 1,057 men in a day.
1,000? Does it fucking matter?
I think it does.
I don't really think it does.
So
It's all disgusting to me. If I met a woman and she said, I just sucked a dick yesterday, I'd say, well, I find you repulsive. I don't want to sleep with you. Goodbye.
What, so you're only going after virgins?
Well, it's not about only going after virgins, but I think if you're a straight man, the idea of having a bunch of men fuck a woman that you're with is pretty repulsive.
But everyone has a past.
But see,
When
this
you
is the
prefer
kind
you
of
girls
shit
have
white people say.
experience.
I don't know what's wrong with you people. Everyone has a past. That's not acceptable.
Oh man, I need to
Let's analyze that.
hold on.
You're right. Everyone
Let's
does
do
it.
this
It's true.
in miniature theater
Is
mode
it
here.
the primary objective of a man to find a
Mini
woman
player.
with as little past as possible? Would you argue that's one of the precursors to finding a wife?
Depends
Considering that wives were supposed to be virgins. This was the deal. The reason I'm proud of Bonnie, and I am genuinely proud of you, I like Bonnie. I like what she's doing. Because the deal was...
Are you not like contradicting yourself here?
In what way?
Well, you're proud of her sleeping with 1,057 guys, but women should be virgins.
No, I'm saying that the social contract the construct of society that made family function was women were obedient virgins and they found a man who provided for them and they listened to that man. Women have then said, we don't like the patriarchy. We're tired of being provided for. We're tired of being taken care of. We don't want to listen to anybody. We want to make our own decisions. That was women and feminism that ended the traditional family unit. And now women can make their own decisions. So I'm glad that Bonnie's making her own decision.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not here to
people
tell you not to do
say
it.
I take women back 100 years. I'm like, no, I'm the clear example of how to be empowered. I use my body. I do what I want when I want. And this is the thing you've been banging on about for years. And when I get hate, like when I click on the comments of these women that are like, oh, you're taking us back 100 years. Then in their bio, it says stay-at-home mom of 2. I'm thinking, what the fuck was you rooting for?
That's
Would you
right.
have just stayed
That's
at
right,
home?
Bonnie. See, this is the future.
Yeah.
This is the future. This is fantastic. It's exactly what Western society is headed to. So why are we going to sit here and pretend this is not? Why are we going to sit here and pretend that most women who go on girls' holidays aren't doing something similar to what Bonnie does just because it's not on camera? Why are we going to sit here and pretend that these men who walk around with their wives in the pub in England, and they're like, oh, my wife, yeah, everyone has a past. Oh, no, she's done the same shit. What's the difference? Who gives a fuck, right? We're either going to care and accept that women are judged on their past and judged on their innocence and judged on their naivety and judged on these things like it used to be, or we're going to sit and say it doesn't matter, everyone has a past. Well, if everyone has a past, everyone has a past. Who gives a fuck? Does it really matter?
So
anymore?
What would you do if it was your daughter, though?
But why are you asking impossible questions?
Well, it's not an impossible question.
Of course it is.
How?
It can't happen.
But anything can happen.
It's against the laws of physics.
It's not.
I mean, if your daughter opened her legs and took 1,000 dicks, it's not impossible.
Of course it is.
What?
Why
I
is
mean,
it
the dicks
impossible?
would enter her pussy, therefore she's taken.
It's literally impossible for my daughter.
What, are you going to be there against your daughter's pussy saying that dick's not entering it?
No, my daughter just wouldn't make that decision.
But why?
Because I still raise her in a household where she is masculinely guided, and she will be guided by me until I hand her over to some other man. However, I believe when women are left to their own devices, they will only ever make stupid decisions.
What's mine a stupid decision?
I would.
So Cook Benny, what I'm working on, it's something for a person. He said he wanted me to put together this design, this 3-circle design with these 3 lanterns. He wants to have the green lantern on top. I think he said the yellow lantern on the left, the blue on the right. And then he wants me to take this woman, this cat woman here. He wants me to take this woman's face and make it in black and white and then put it on this face here, which I told him it would be really simple for me to do that. So I'm going to do the simple stuff first, which is arrange this. And then he was also saying he wants to have like in the stained glass, he wants, hold on, let me see if I can zoom in this in. So in this right here, I don't know why, let me just zoom it in like that. So in this negative space and outside of the circles, he wants it to have a, I think like 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors. I think like red, orange. He gave me a whole list of stuff, but he wants it to be kind of like stained glass. So I have to give it kind of like a stained glass effect. So that's what I'm going to be doing as well. So let's, so far, I kind of feel like Andrew Tate is a little subdued. He's kind of not really being as like what's the word? I guess, pushing against her. He's kind of just like letting it go. And it's kind of different. You know, I think Andrew is definitely a changed man. He's not the same. He doesn't occupy the same ideas as he used to. And, I think probably about a year or 2 years ago, I don't think he would have ever sat down with Bonnie Blue and had any type of conversation, but I think things have changed now for Andrew Tate, and he's a little bit more accepting, it seems like. So let's continue, though.
I wouldn't say it's any more stupid than most decisions women make, to be honest with you. I think that most women, to some degree, are sex workers anyway. Like, let's be honest about it, right? Most women look at Miami or Dubai. What's your job? Oh, I've got a boyfriend. So your job is being a girlfriend. And why does he give you money? Because you give him sex. So most women are sex workers anyway, to be honest.
But isn't that what you said the family unit was?
Well, then you're a sex worker with one customer. You know, which is nice. I guess it's better. It's more efficient.
But what about if you're raising children? That's not sex work, is it?
No, that's being a mother.
Yeah.
All right, so that's interesting, Rob. Rob said this, not me. So they're either virgins, sex workers, or mothers. Are those the three
I
categories?
think you're putting words into my mouth.
I think that's what Rob just said. Those are the three categories.
I'm just sat in the middle.
And women have to choose to be one of them.
So is that what you think?
I think that when a woman becomes a mother, she has a purpose. And I think that women should be having children as soon as possible. And I think it gives their life a direction. And I think it's the most important thing to preserve society, especially if you want to talk about geopolitics and talk about race and all of these things. If you want to have a country that looks like the country it used to be, you need to have the original people from there having children. I think all of that is true. Absolutely. I think every day a woman goes without having kids is primarily a waste of time. But once again, what does it matter what I think? Rob, I've given up. Rob, I've given up trying to save the world. I've given up. No, Rob. I've given up.
Haven't.
I've given up on misogyny and all this shit.
No, you haven't.
They attacked me.
Yeah, see, that part right there doesn't sound right.
I am now all for women.
It sounds like, yeah, he definitely sounds subdued right here. He's like, I'm all about, just kind of rolling over and just letting things be, letting people coexist. Whereas, he used to be a person that would have kind of clear right and wrong. But now it seems like that's not the case anymore. He's just kind of like, let's live and let live now.
Women empowerment. I think women should run around fucking as many men as they want. I like what Bonnie's doing. She's getting the bag. She's getting rich. Most girls out here don't want to have kids. They just want to get Birkin bags and Instagram likes. Good. I'm a feminist, a pro-feminism. This is the world now. How the world's going to end up, who gives a fuck? Who cares about the future?
See, women go around, use sex to their advantage, but then are happy to cry about it straight away, saying, oh, he took advantage of me. And it's like, you're the one that wanted to do sex to have like the job promotion, or you're the one that wanted to have sex to get more attention or try and be more liked, but then they cry about it. And that's what I get frustrated about. And even with porn stars, like people in my industry, they'll do this for a few years, get the money, get the boob jobs, get the house. And then suddenly they go, oh my God, I was forced into the industry. Oh my God, someone took all my money.
Have you ever considered a job as a lawyer? Because
no.
I could do with you. You're 100% right. So this is the false dichotomy of society, right? So this is the reason when I said I like what Bonnie does, because Bonnie completely 100% owns what she does. And she says, it's my decision. And I've seen people try and lecture you. I've seen people sit there and try and lecture you and say like, oh, but you're a creature of God and you shouldn't be doing this. No, you should do whatever the fuck you want. Exactly. It's up to you to do whatever you want. And you're not saying anybody tricked you into it. It's your decision. And let's be honest. Yeah,
Kavos, he's probably trolling, right? I think so. I think he's literally just saying what needs to be said to not really, rock the boat. I don't think Tate is trying to rock the boat anymore. I think he will put his thoughts out there, but I think he's not about like what's right and what's wrong. I think it's just like, I think he's like, yeah, we can coexist. I may not agree with it. But I don't know, man. I haven't seen this whole thing. I just saw like bits and pieces of it, and I was like, okay, let's watch it. Let's see. Let's react to it like a fresh reaction. And this is not the Tate that we knew from like 2 years ago when he first came on the scene. He's completely changed.
So when they talk about taking women back 100 years, let's actually be very honest here, Rob. No disrespect.
No disrespect.
There's always been whores.
It's the oldest profession.
Ancient Rome had whores. There's always been whores. The Aztecs had whores. You think there weren't concubines in the fucking Ming dynasty sucking little Chinese pee-pee? Of course there were. There's always been whores. It's the oldest profession in the world.
Exactly.
So do you think it's a legitimate job?
Well, I mean, no, check her bank. I'm sure she's making fucking loads of money. So here's where do you draw the line? If we're going to live in this false dichotomy, because the world was very simple once, not too long ago. And men had this terrible misogynistic view, which I, of course, don't agree with, that women can't make their own decisions because they're naturally chaotic. And when women decide anything, life's fucked up. In fact, these men in their disgusting, these men in their disgusting misogyny believed if you gave women the vote, we'd end up with open borders and drag queen story hours. So they didn't give women the vote. Then they did give women the vote, and society took a particular direction. But when men were in charge of things, women didn't have to worry about what they can do with their life because their father took care of it and then their husband took care of it. But now we live in a brand new world where women can make all of their own decisions. And the path she's chosen, I don't think is any different than most paths women take. I think she's just more honest about it and more upfront about it. If you're going to go to Dubai and meet a girlfriend and you think she hasn't been fucking for money the entire time she was living in Dubai, then you're an idiot. If you're in Miami and you got girls on your boat and you think they're not fucking for money all of the time. Now, they may not say per hour, but they'll be fucking a guy they barely like to get the rent paid, or they're fucking a guy they barely like because he has a car.
Yeah.
So women are fucking for money all the time anyway. That's all women do now. The entire Western world is women fucking for money. So how hypocritical would it be for me to sit here and say, Bonnie, who is honest, who monetizes it directly with her own media empire, who's upfront about it and makes money from it, is a worse person than the girl who walks around like she's goody two-shoes and then sucks dick in a Magaluf toilet. Because that's what most girls are doing anyway. Rob, the world's fucked. They're all like this. Rob, they're all the same.
Are you trying to say I'm not special now?
No, I'm saying you're special, actually.
Yeah, see, I mean, it does sound like a mix of trolling, but it just seems like Tate is now doom and gloom. He's not about trying to make the world a better place. I think he's given up on making the world a better place. That's literally what I'm getting out of this. Like, he's not the same. Whereas, I think he would try his hardest to possibly maybe talk Bonnie Blue out of her position, and maybe her path in life, and maybe get her to change the ways. But what he's doing now, it just seems like, no, she's making money. She's very successful, more power to her. And I mean, he doesn't understand that she's really kind of leading the debauchery of modern women and the society as a whole, of people that want to go down this path of, just making quick money, forsaking relationships and marriage and stuff like that for the pursuit of money. And it doesn't lead to, maybe it leads to material life, but it doesn't lead to a fruitful life with families and stuff, because those women don't get wifed up. They just use and they get spit out.
Because you've gone so far through, you've come out as the queen of it. Congratulations.
Yeah. But didn't you say this kind of thing is the demise of Western society?
I mean, if I was a misogynist, I would believe this is the final end result of feminism, and the end times are here, and that nobody's going to have kids anymore, and that the idea of a beautiful marriage between a man and a woman is now completely gone. I mean, if I was a disgusting misogynist, but since they keep raising...
But you don't have one beautiful marriage, do you?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Have you slept with 1,057 women?
At least.
So are you quite similar?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it's the male's prerogative to impregnate as many females as possible. This is the masculine prerogative. This is biologically my prerogative is to do that.
I think we should do a breeding competition. We'll see if you can get a girl pregnant quicker than I can get pregnant.
Well, I mean, that'd be a good competition. I think I'd win. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, but it's interesting because you have to look at society. When you look at these things, you have to look at society from an animalistic perspective and a societal perspective. From the animalistic perspective, it is the masculine imperative to get as many women as possible pregnant.
Yeah, but
if you want to be purely
it's
animalistic,
not 1,512.
No, but let's be purely animalistic. Let's talk about this like professionals. If a man is high value, high testosterone, alpha male, whatever you want to call him, right? His imperative is to impregnate women. And he wants to take care of those women and take care of those kids. He's not overly interested in the kids. It doesn't mean he doesn't love them. It means he doesn't want to sit there and play with them all day. When you see a man who wants to play with a baby all day, that man is probably gay. That's fucking boring.
What?
It doesn't mean he wants to fuck the kid.
No, he's gay. He's gay. So real men just want to pregnant, money, cool. See you an hour a week. Boom, boom, boom. Now, there's a lot of men who are going to disagree with me on that, but those are a lot of men I can beat the shit out of, so I don't give a fuck. That's the truth of it. The female imperative is to find a man who's obsessed with her so that when she gets pregnant, she's going to have protection and provision when she's not capable of looking after herself. That is the female biological imperative and the masculine biological imperative. I'm still living to my biological imperative to some degree. If I were to, let's say, have 4 or 5 women and I had kids with 4 or 5 women and I took care of 4 or 5 women and I was with all of them and they were exclusively only with me and we had children over and over and over again, that's my biological imperative. It's actually against the female biological imperative to do what Bonnie is doing, I would argue, traditionally. But that means you break paradigms. That's great. But feminism and society and this brand new societal conditioning is convincing women that what they're supposed to do, which is find a man they love and be obsessed with him and get pregnant from him, is the wrong thing to do. Well, then let's all just become sex workers now.
But you disagree with that feminist program.
I don't have an opinion, Rob, because I have 14 criminal cases. I don't have an opinion. I'm just here. I'm a commentator.
He can't say anything.
I'm just commentating.
Commentators have opinions.
I don't have an opinion. No, I don't have an opinion. Women can do whatever they want. Women are fantastic. We live in this great society now where women are girl bosses and better than us. while also are equals at everything, while also everything they do they regret was a man's fault somehow, as Bonnie described. They were tricked into it. So we live in this impossible situation where a man can't possibly win anyway, no matter what opinion he has. But I'm just saying it would be unprofessional and hypocritical of me to sit here and think that Bonnie is doing anything different or anything bad or anything wrong when she does the same thing 99.9% of Western women do anyway.
Okay, so Bonnie...
You get one extreme to the next. You get the women like me that are just sluts, and then you get the others that are lazy and won't even get on their knees and give a blowjob.
And they're sluts too. No, but this is the thing. They're sluts too. They're just sluts for a different guy, or they were sluts for their ex, and they're not sluts for the new guy. These women are sluts too. It's all the same.
But I used to be a full service sex worker, like an escort, and I used to judge men that cheated. And then when I actually started speaking to these men, I was like, you know what? They've got a point. They're going to work. They're looking after their kids. They're still emptying the dishes because the wife's now refusing to do that, saying it should be equal. And then I say, well, when's the last time she gave you a blowjob? When's the last time she fucked you? They couldn't name it. They couldn't even list the amount of times where they've had sexual intercourse. I'm like, of course you're going to need that. Of course you're going to cheat. So how can I ever say women are anything but lazy and poorly educated?
So do you think you're a good role model for women?
I'm a clear example of what women have fought for years. Of
what?
Taking control of your body.
Correct.
Being independent. I earn my own money. I don't rely on a guy. I'm
Girl
paid
power.
More, exactly. I'm paid more than other guys.
100%.
Do you think
she is a clear example of what women have been fighting for years? Absolutely correct.
And now
I'm not going to sit here and lecture you about God. I'm not going to sit here and no, that's all bullshit. She is a clear example of what women have been fighting for years.
Yeah.
Women believe that they can do whatever they want.
Do you think they should be able to?
Listen, brother, I have 14 criminal cases. I don't want to be called a misogynist by the BBC. That would break my heart. That's not up to me. We're all individual sovereign people, and we make our own decisions. If women want to run around and do...
It's like you can hear and you can smell the sarcasm. It's like, you know that he is walking on eggshells because he doesn't want to go back into jail again, even though... I think the old Tate before said that he would happily go back into jail again because he knows that it wouldn't break him. But now he's doing his best to stay out of jail. So that means not saying crazy shit, not letting people live in their delusion and whatever perspective they have and don't really challenge it. So this is a very different Tate, man.
Do whatever they want to do. It's up to them. My point is, all women on some scale are doing what Bonnie Blue is doing. However, Bonnie Blue's just the best at it. She's the best. She's the queen of it. So why? It's
not all women are doing.
Let me ask you a question. If a man walks into Starbucks and steals a chocolate bar, he's a thief. Right? Correct?
Not in London.
Well,
it's legal.
Yeah. And if a banker manages to liquidate a ton of stock illegally in the stock market or rip off a bunch of people with a false investment fund, whatever it is, he's a thief. Right? The morality is the same, whether you're stealing from the Wall Street or you're stealing from Starbucks. The morality of it is the same. But people will sit there and argue that the banker is somehow worse than the guy who stole the chocolate bar because of how much he stole. I wouldn't argue there's a difference in morality. There's a difference in capability. But the morality is the same. The banker's just smarter.
I'm just a clever slut.
You're just very good. Yeah. She is very good at what she's decided to do. If you're going to be a whore, and most women watching this, and most men, hello, your wife, yeah, her, they're all whores anyway. If you're going to be a whore, no disrespect, you may as well be fucking good at it. Get a media empire, get rich, let everyone know your name, and get paid. Why are you going out to the pub, getting drunk, and meeting a man who's funny, and getting fucked in a toilet for free? Are you dumb?
They are, though. Women are stupid.
They're stupid. So Bonnie's just the smartest. She's the Wall Street banker of this whole shit. I respect that much more than these other girls. Rob, I grew up in Luton, England, bruv. You think I don't know hoes? You think I haven't seen it? You think I haven't walked in the toilet and some bitch has got 5 dudes hanging out of her? This is the Western world. This is feminism. This is what all you white boys wanted. All you white men listening to women all the time. Women get to opinions all of a sudden. This is what you built. Congratulations.
So you blame men.
Well, 100% I blame men because everything's men's fault because men are the only ones who can apply force to scenarios. Women can't apply force. Men apply force. If there's something we don't like, we apply force to the situation. We could force this away. We could force most things away. So everything's absolutely men's fault. And this came from, the feminism and the women's sexualization and the liberation, a lot of it came from beta males hoping to get some pussy. That's what it came from. Bunch of weak men, though. If we told girls to be hoes, I might get a little bit. Because the natural order of the universe is the big gorilla, top G, smart. I'm so fucking smart. The big gorilla, top G, has a bunch of women, and then the small gorilla has nothing. This is the natural order of the universe. It's actually kind of still like that in many ways. There's a guy with the yacht with 10 wives, and then there's a guy with no yacht with no wife. It's kind of like that. But beta males didn't like that because they couldn't obviously compete with the top guy. So they've tried to push this sexual liberation, hoping to get a little bit of pussy, and it probably works a little bit. But society's destroyed by extension. If you want to look at society for what it is, because what is society anything other than rearing and raising children? That's what society should be, I would argue. Society should be, the primary function of it should be, let's have kids so that we have a population. We have a population collapse in the West.
Yeah, I think they should have a choice. I before used to think, oh my God, I really want kids, I want a family. But it's because I was so naive to what else was open to the world. I just thought, okay, I need to get married. I need to, have children. I need to get a good job. And that was what I thought life was. And then I was like, fuck, there's so much more to life rather than just staying in that, finishing school, going to uni, getting married, buying a house. And you just copy everyone else. Like half the shit we do is because someone else has done it.
Okay, Bonnie, so let me ask you a question. I agree with you that now that we've opened up female horizons with education, with jobs, with the capability of making money, with Instagram and all these offers they get to fly around the world and all these things, women don't want to have kids, or they want to have kids later because they have a lot more options. I agree with you. But would you argue, if you were to look at it selflessly, not about the ant, but about the ant farm at large, that keeping women's horizons more narrow so they focused on rearing children would be better for society than the current society we're in, where we have to import a whole bunch of fuck knows who's into the country to try and maintain a population because the white people aren't even having any fucking kids because the white women are too busy sucking dicks in Magaluf.
Did you understand that?
To a certain degree, but I also couldn't give a shit. The world's going to shit anyway. So whether or not we've got more kids in it or not, it's fucked regardless. So just live your life the best. You're going to be dead in however many years anyway.
Fair.
So don't stress too much.
Fair. And this is what I like about Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is my favorite. This is my favorite everything. Fair. Because what you just said, I understand and I agree with.
But it's selfish.
But what have I
but
said?
Why should I not be selfish? Why should I give a shit about someone else that pays less tax than me, has, sits there, complains, makes shitty TikToks about me? Like, I couldn't give a shit if your life's going to shit. By the looks of it, you live in a council house, you've got a couple of kids with different dads. I don't care. So why should I sit there and think, fuck, I should do something to help you? I don't care. I should focus on myself. And if more people did that, the world would actually be a better place. But they become so fixated on other people. I'm like, where's your life? Why are you not focusing on yourself? Like, look in the mirror, you're fat, go and do something about it. Your teeth have that much plaque on it. Like, you're fucked. Like, there's no way out for you.
No, but what
is this a good role model?
No, yes, because no, but what what Bonnie's saying is important here, and it's not about what she's saying. It's about the general attitude. Because what I want to make clear, the reason society was run by men for so long is that men have a different biological instinct to women, and we're prepared to suffer for the greater good. Women are not very good at suffering. Men are good sufferers.
Look back at the wars. There's so much evidence of it.
Well, of course. And also, let's just look at the normal family. You talked about these men who come and see you, right?
Yeah.
But happy wife, happy life is true. And the reason it's true is because if the wife is unhappy, everyone's miserable because she'll make sure of it. But if the man's unhappy...
That was something I never thought that he would ever bring up, was happy wife, happy life. I thought he was just like, fuck that. I never thought he would ever say that. But we all know where Myron stands on that. He thinks it's happy king, happy kingdom. But yeah, I was very surprised that he brought up that saying, because about, if the woman isn't happy, yeah, everybody's miserable. That is a general rule of thumb. But I think, as the man as well in the relationship, you should definitely be happy as well. So there's limits to everything.
Everyone else can be happy. He'll suffer. He'll sit with no sex. He'll go to work every day.
Yeah.
He won't see his friends. He'll be miserable. He'll be depressed. He'll still pay the bills. He'll still pay the taxes. And everyone else gets to be happy. Men are good at suffering. Women are spiteful sufferers. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, they struggle to do anything. They struggle to suffer themselves for any greater good. Men have always died for a greater good. Men have always said, this is bad for me, but it's good for society. Bonnie just quite correctly, quite pertinently highlighted the fact that she believes in living her life the best way that she wants to live so she is happy. And I agree with you. That's what you should do. That's fine.
Yeah.
If you're a woman, that's how women think. Women don't think I shouldn't do this because I care about society by and large. Women don't think that way. And once you understand that logic, you can extrapolate that out to the fact that women shouldn't be in charge of a country ever, because women are not prepared to take a bullet for a country ever.
I mean, I guess I contradict myself a little bit because I help society out a lot. And I
How?
do that because well, do you see how many dicks I drain? How many balls I've been emptied out on my face? How many cream pies I've taken?
What the-
Scooped it out. Like,
And how does that help society?
Jesus.
sex workers help reduce rape rates by over 30%.
That sound like a stat you just made up.
No, Google it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Mental health, it's good for mental health as well. It
The
stops
true
men
fact is
killing themselves.
32%.
Yeah, stops men killing themselves. Sex work is an important part of the world. Sex
So
work is-
like, if you're
Are you
a
saying that because you had a
rapist-
webcam business?
I'm not saying that because I had a webcam business. I'm saying that because it's absolutely and utterly true. The only point I was making earlier about women being in charge, I was actually trying to get to a final point. And the final point, I would argue, is that Bonnie has done no damage to society compared to giving the women the vote.
I've basically been a community worker.
Absolutely.
For example,
do you vote?
Not to be honest, I don't really know what's going on in the
Okay,
world.
so do you vote?
No.
Okay, she's perfect. she's out here. She's sucking dick.
Iron wife material.
She's sucking dick. She's not voting. This is the kind of women we need. This is done. This is fine. If we stop women, we take the women's vote away. If you said to me, Andrew, fix society, all the women can either vote or be like Bonnie. I'd be like, make them all like Bonnie. Give the men the vote back. We'll fix all country.
Even your daughter.
Yeah. Why would she need to vote? I'm voting. Why would she need to vote when I'm voting? You're going to vote against your father. What kind of world is that? You know, it's really interesting to me. Since I had daughters, and I have a bunch, people always say, when you get a daughter, you're going to change your opinions. No, I fucking didn't. When you have a daughter, you know, you see these dudes and they have a daughter and like the daughter's putting makeup on and they're like, girl dad. Just because you have a girl doesn't mean you become gay.
I think that's cute though. if
No,
they're
but
putting
no,
makeup on.
I'm never going to she's never going to put makeup on my face. I'm never going to be like, oh, my daughter wants, so I guess I just
sound
gave
like a
in.
farmer when you
She
say that.
melts my heart. No, you're going to obey me because I am your parent and you are my child. My child can't vote against me ever. That's civil war. That's against the rules of, that's against the just working of the universe, sir. For me to have a certain opinion and my own offspring to have countering opinions. Then I'm going to be sitting at some fucking dinner table in 20 years. And my daughter or my sons, any of them, are going to be there arguing with me about anything. Actually, in school, I learned, you better shut the fuck up. Because you're in my fucking house. It's my mansion. It's the Tate millions. You're living on my money. You're going to do as I fucking say.
Until they're 18 or they move out?
Until, if they want to completely cut me off and build their own version of life, I guess they could do that. But they won't do that. That's impossible.
It's how you bring them up. Like when they're 18, yes, they're an adult, but it's how you brought them up.
Of course.
Like my parents brought me
Do you
up
have
as
kids,
much
though?
as-
Shit.
No, I don't.
No.
But like my parents, I mean, everyone says my parents can't love me. My family must have disowned me. It's not the case. My family brought me up to be independent and live my best life, how I want to live. And as much as people think that is so shameful, that's disgusting, like my life's become so much better and I'm happy. As much as people think I should be scarred, could kill myself and everything else, it's like, I am happy. I genuinely live a much better life. So my family are nothing but proud of me. So
Are you really happy?
Really, really happy. Happy
You-
and wet
when you're
most of the
alone,
time.
you're happy.
She's not voting. She's great. This is what we need. Do you want to be prime minister or not really?
No.
See? Done, bro. This is it. This is what we need in society.
The hell?
Honest about their sex work, because all women out here are sex working anyway. When's the last? You've been in Dubai recently.
Yeah.
Find a woman who ain't sex working. That is a challenge, sir. $1 million to find a woman who ain't living off a man. Because that is sex work. You giving sex and she's giving you money. That's the game. I tweeted
It's actually
this.
so true. I've never thought of it like that.
I
Like,
tweeted
when
this.
people are boyfriend and girlfriends, the
It's
majority
sex
of
work.
the time they do a low paid job, they've not got the education to do anything better. So and they're having sex with the partners, keep them interested. The partner's paying the bills. It's a sex work with one client. just like you said.
100%. I said this, I tweeted it, and the whole world lost its mind because you know me. I'm a provocateur. But I said, yeah, women are sex workers. You can either have a bunch of customers with OnlyFans, or you can have one customer called a husband or boyfriend. Or you can be ugly, and unfortunately then you got to get a job. But if you're pretty enough, you don't do that. You find a boyfriend, or a husband, or a sugar daddy, whatever you want to call him, and he's paying your bills. Go to Saint-Tropez, Monaco, Cannes, go to Miami, go to Dubai, go to Hong Kong, go to any of these cities and find a beautiful woman and ask her job. She either doesn't work, because her boyfriend takes care of her, or she has some bullshit vanity project which loses money that her husband pays for. Owns a flower shop that loses money each month. Great. Businesswoman. Independent. Bullshit. Women have only ever been sex workers. Women have only ever translated their pussy into money. Or pussy into provision. Or pussy into protection. That's all women have ever done. Let's talk about the ancient days. when the ancient whoever's, the tribe, got conquered by another tribe. You're sitting around, there's 100 men, there's 100 women, the 100 men go out to war, they lose, the conquering tribe comes and takes over the ground, takes over the women. What do the women do? Here's some pussy, don't kill me. Please.
It's not 1500 anymore.
No, but it doesn't matter. That's all they've ever done. And I'm telling you now, you know you watch Hunger Games and there's fucking Katniss Evergreen running around with her bullshit fucking bow and arrow. When World War III finally comes, you're just going to see a whole bunch of women hooking. That's all they're going to do. They're like, shit, World War III, I need money. I need a man who can protect me. Here's some pussy. Anyone?
I would have fucked Hitler to survive.
Of course. Women will fuck anyone to survive. Look at France in World War II. You hear about the war brides? They all had their heads shaved. You don't know about this? Oh, you didn't know. Well, I'll tell you. The Nazis kicked the fuck out of all the French. Then the Nazi soldiers turn up to Paris. Nazi soldiers have money. Average French man, he either lost in war, lost a leg, and has no money. He's a brokey. The Nazi guy, he's got money. He's got the German Deutschmark. He's got a nice uniform. He's a winner. All the French women were fucking the Nazis. They killed their husband. They're fucking the next guy a year later. Why? Because he can provide, he can protect. They give him status. They get to go out and party. They all had their heads shaved afterwards once the Americans kicked the Germans out of France.
That would have been bold straight away.
Well, there you go. This is what women do. Women say, okay, let me look at the world. I'm not as strong as a man. I'm not as determined as a man. I'm not as intelligent as a man. I can't do any of these things men can do. What's the one differentiator I have? Pussy. So let me turn my pussy into what I want. That's not a bad thing. That's just understanding the world, right?
Do you think this is a positive message for society?
I'm not here giving any messages. I am a commentator, sir.
I'd say if anything, it's factual.
A commentator give messages.
I'm a commentator, sir. I see I'm not playing football. I'm commentating on the game. That's all I'm doing.
And people are listening to you.
Well, they're listening to me commentate. I'm telling everyone how it works.
Everything we've said you'd learn in history at school. Everything we're saying is factual. We're not
what
just
would you
saying,
learn in history at school about?
Well, I didn't really listen
sleeping
too
with
much at
people?
school, but yeah, I learned at school that people had their head shaved.
Yeah.
Like you learn about what happened at the war, and that happened. That's factual. You didn't ever learn at school, oh, the women went to war. No, of course they didn't. They stayed at home. They cooked. They had the house ready. Like it stayed the same. Everything we're saying is factual.
Yeah, like Rob, what have I said that's incorrect? And the reason I'm saying all these things is to highlight how it's awfully hypocritical for anybody in modern Western society, anybody who believes in women's liberation, anyone who believes women should be allowed to vote, anyone who believes in women are allowed to lead a country, anyone who listens to their wife's stupid opinions on anything, to give Bonnie a second of hard time. Because it's all the same thought pattern. It's all the same thought process. If you're a man who says, I have a wife and we got married when she was a virgin and she doesn't vote and she obeys me absolutely and I'm the king of this household, then maybe you could have an opinion. But if you're going to sit there and go, oh, my wife has a past, but I love her anyway, then fucking shut the fuck up. And that's 99% of men. Rob, do you understand that about 3 times a week I see a woman I've plowed get married on Instagram? Do you understand? I see it. I see the man walking down the aisle holding her hand, doing the whole humiliation ritual. I see the whole thing. He got on one knee. And I just watch it. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though.
No, but there is.
But why? Like,
because I know what happened that night.
But people
so
have
it
got
is.
fucked.
Well, aren't you under investigation for things like that?
Give a fuck. But the point is this. If that man's going to go, everyone has a past, then who is he to comment on anything else? Because her past was me, sir.
So are all of your girlfriends virgins before you?
Well, here's where you have to, as a man, do your best to find a woman, if you want to take her seriously, with as little history as possible, if that's the kind of thing that bothers you.
And does it bother you?
Well, it depends.
I mean, surely the best place to go then is high school.
Well, we have to be careful. I'm under investigation here. But it depends because there's different categories of women. Mm-hmm. Right? Everything in life is actually fine if you keep everything in the right place. If you use a fork for forking and a spoon for spooning, everything's fine. It only gets confusing when you try to mix the two up. All men love whores. Men love whores.
We've got good technique.
Of course. Any man who sits there and says...
Do you love whores then?
Any man who says he doesn't love whores is a fucking liar.
So you love whores?
Well, if I'm on a boat in Miami, I don't want
Would
nuns.
you prefer a blowjob with your teeth or the mouth? You need someone with experience.
Well, if you want girls who are just a good time, they're not going to be that emotionally invested. They're probably going to be sluts. If you're going to go to a party with 20 women, you want women who are just a good time. Good time women are hoes and men love hoes. But men want the dichotomy because we want our cake and eat it. We want a wife and we want hoes and we want both. Mm. It only gets confusing for a man when he puts them in the wrong category. What will happen is a man will meet a hoe, fall in love with her because he can't control himself, and then try and say, oh, no, she's wifey because he's in love with her because he's an idiot. But if you're me and you can sit and go, okay, that one's a good one. She's wifey. Those are the hoes. They're this. And you just keep everything in its right place. It's fine.
So Bonnie's a hoe.
I don't want to insult Bonnie Blue.
You can't insult me.
I mean, you called her a hoe when I last talked to you.
No, I said she was a whore. And
I said, what's the difference between a hoe and a whore?
Well, there is a big difference because whores get paid. And whores are actually a much higher social standing than a hoe because hoes are fucking dumb and they're doing it for free.
Yeah.
Whores make money. So I think she's
I
a
didn't
whore.
know that difference.
Well, now you do.
Now I do.
I always say people can call me a prostitute, slut, slag, whore, whatever. I don't care. Like, you just can't insult me. Like, I own it. Whatever word you want to call me, whether you
But
say
it's not even insulting. It's just a factual description.
Yeah.
It's a factual description.
If anything, it turns me on.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's why she's so good at her job.
By the time you finish calling me a whore, I'm going to leave this chair with a wet patch.
Well, there you go. That's why she's so good at her job. I have that effect anyway. But the point I'm making here is any man who sits and goes, oh, I hate whores, I hate hoes, that's all a fucking lie. There's scenarios in which they're very welcome and very liked. But there's scenarios in which they're not. So everyone has their standing in life. Everyone has their place in life.
Yeah.
Bonnie, even I would argue, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but you can correct me. Bonnie will have sex with one man, or have sex with a certain type of man, or have sex with whoever, but she'd marry a different type of man. To marry someone is different than having sex with someone. You wouldn't just marry anyone, would you? You'd have to kind of like him.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be completely different. Like, I generally have sex with anyone of legal age, but if I'm thinking of marriage, it's completely different.
Okay, so even in Bonnie's mind, there are people she treats a certain way and respects in a certain way, and there's people she has sex with without any emotional attachment. That's exactly how it is as a man. There's a woman you'll treat a certain way and have a certain amount of feeling for, and there's women you just fuck. That's it. So everything's actually fine. Men saying they hate whores and they hate all this, that's all a fucking lie. Men love whores in the right scenario. So you're asking me, my girlfriends. Well, I mean, it depends. If you catch me on a boat, if you catch me on my yacht with 25 women, are they all virgins? Fuck no. But do I have children from some virgins? Yes.
If you ever host a virgin party, count me in.
How would you get into a virgin party?
Exactly.
I'll be there to take the virginities. I'm obsessed with it.
Why are you obsessed with taking boys' virginities?
Well, just like how Andrew likes 18-year-olds.
Wait, careful.
Yeah, be careful with that one.
now.
Sorry, should I go
I'm
younger?
under investigation. What I have said.
Andrew, 18 is a legal age. I don't know what you class as legal.
No,
but
18 is legal. You're right.
Yeah.
But the reason, actually, and it's interesting you said this, but the reason men prefer younger women is because they have less history. That's why. The average 22-year-olds live less life than the average 30-year-old. That's why men prefer younger women in general. But sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just clarifying because everything gets clip farmed, and before you know it, I'm back in handcuffs.
So not 18, 19. But I'd happily take an 18-year-old on their birthday, like
Why?
closer to 18. I just want them, to be young, innocent. I want to strip them from that. I
Yeah,
want to
steal
take
their
their
innocence.
I want to watch
Like
their
Shang Tsung.
toes curl up as they come for the first time from a girl. Like, I love that. And I also think it's educational. So I'm obsessed
How's
with
it educational?
You think about sex education at school. It's from a middle-aged teacher that's not been laid. And they basically say, you have sex, or you're probably going to die from an STD. There's no information. If anything, they should whip up one of my DVDs, put it on screen and show, look, that's how the dick enters the pussy. This is how you get a girl wet. There's none of that. So me having sex with them shows this is a woman's body. Yes, a woman's, Andrew, not trans. And
I don't think you're trans.
And
We'll come to that.
They don't know how to pleasure a girl. They've not touched a girl. They've just watched videos, online where they're slapping, they're choking, they're hair pulling. And then they go to do it on a woman or a girl for the first time.
That's
She's
terrible.
probably going to cry rape for the next day.
Yeah, you're probably going to get a criminal charge of that. You're probably going to get sued if that happens.
Probably talk from experience there. But like with me, I love educating them. Like they've never fingered a girl before. They've never.
So you
learnt what
educate
they
your
like.
guys when you sleep with them?
Not all the time. Some of them are in their 80s and their wife's dead. Like they've been having sex for years, but some of them are 18 and haven't lost their virginity. They haven't been having sex. So I love lying there and saying, look, do whatever you want to me, trial and error. And if anything, I'm protecting women because then the next girl they sleep with, they know how to choke properly. They know how to slap. They know how to fuck and they know how to pleasure her. And also I give them such a safe environment. Like, I mean, if you had an 18-year-old son, would you send him to me on his 18th birthday?
No.
So serious. Okay, so your son will probably lose his virginity after going to a club. He's probably been drinking. The girl might have done drugs. They then go back to some hotel or parents'
I
house.
don't think
whatever.
I'm raising him that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
but regardless.
What about if he falls in love and loses his virginity to someone he loves.
And what if the world becomes a really happy place? You're talking, it's unrealistic. When people lose their virginity, it's probably after a night out.
So it's more realistic I send my son to you.
Yeah.
Who slept with 1,000.
Are you saying, Rob, that your children are going to do what you want? Is
On
that
your
what you're trying to
18th,
say?
on his 18th
Because
birthday, I'll go
they're
and find
independent
him.
people, Rob.
are.
No, they can make
Now
their
he's
own decisions,
controlling.
Rob.
They
Don't
can.
come out with that crap.
But
Well,
when you
I
say-
think my kids are. You don't have kids, and I think my
No.
kids are older than your kids. So de facto, I think I've got a bit more experience in being a dad. Because
his
everyone
18th
talks about how it is until their kids actually do disobey them, which they do.
No, they won't.
Right, Rob, on your son's 18th birthday, I'll be stood on the driveway with a balloon and a happy birthday card. I'll take his virginity, but I'll take him to a safe, controlled environment. I'm not going to cry rape the next day. I'm STD tested. I can educate him on a body. So the next girl he sleeps with, because if that's the girl he falls in love with, she's going to want a good shag. She's going to want to be pleasured. She's want to walk away from him and go, fuck, that was good. Yeah, I want to see him again. I want to stay loyal to him because he was amazing in the bedroom.
Rob, you should do it.
Do you really believe this?
Rob, do
Yeah.
it.
Okay, would you send your son to Bonnie, age 18, birthday?
I don't need to, but you need to.
I don't need to.
Yes, you do.
Are you judging me,
Yeah,
Andrew?
of course. I'm just saying that, like,
Andrew, I do father and son as well.
do you?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
Hell no,
Brother and
dude.
brother?
no,
Double penetration?
no.
That's
We need to
wild.
find out if I'm trans. I think you and your brother, double penetration, then you'll know the truth.
Okay, first things first.
That's gay, bro.
You're not trans, and I knew you were.
Sheesh.
100%.
Is that because you've had multiple wanks?
No, it's just 100%.
Or is
you're
that
not
because
trans.
you left this at my last event? Oh, you don't want to touch it? I thought you might be thirsty. You want to rinse it for cum?
What?
Um,
It's crazy, man. She's saying a lot of shit
I
right
knew you
now.
weren't trans. However, I would argue that a lot of the men who fuck you are gay.
No, it can be intimidating though for guys.
No, it's not about intimidation. They are gay.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are, because
Their dick is entering a pussy.
there's too much male DNA all around that scenario. The reason I find female promiscuity, by and large, for my
Yeah.
personal sexual appetite, quite disgusting, is because I don't like the thought of other men anywhere near what I'm gonna fuck. I'm
Yeah.
so not gay that I don't like that there have been men there.
Except if you're on a boat with 25 of them.
Well, if that's whoreland. When you're if you're in whoreland, it's whoreland. You
So
don't
that's
care.
the fork box, not
Well,
the spoon box.
I guess you could argue that, yes. My point is, if I was going to take a woman seriously,
Oops.
the idea of another man being near her, I find repulsive. And I find it repulsive because the idea of the man repulses me by and large.
Yeah.
Any man who's happy to have sex with that many other men, when there's that much other male DNA in the room, I would argue has a streak of homosexuality to some degree. I would argue that those
Yeah.
men are gay. Now, you're not trans, but I don't think a straight man wants to fuck a pussy that's had 10 dicks in it, or 20 dicks in it, or 50 dicks in it.
What about 1,057?
Well, I don't know. Maybe these men are just bi, or I don't know. Maybe they're desperate. You can argue lots of things. You
See,
know?
I don't agree, but I do get where you're coming from. Like some of these guys, especially 6 hours in, they come to me. It's the floor's like an ice rink. There's that much cum on there. My face, I'm barely recognizable. Like my hair is slicked back. My eyes are full of cum. Like my whole body is so slippery from cum. And yet they still come, they kiss me, they touch me. And I think, fuck, what if they don't want to touch me because I'm covered in another guy's cum? And when I do the gangbangs and there's a lot of men together, I have security in that room. A lot of people assume that security's for me. It's not. It's for the other guys because I'm always concerned, like, fuck, if another guy comes and it hits another guy, I don't want a fight to break out. I don't want them to be like, oh, that's gay, don't touch me. So there's always security when I do these events, but it's predominantly for the guys because I'm scared a fight's going to break out because they think it's gay.
And you respect this profession?
I understand the profession. The profession's been around for a very long time. I respect the honesty, actually, what I said. But yeah, I think the men who turn up to these events are gay, by and large. I think they're at least bi. Because I think that if you're a straight man, you don't really want to be near other kind of men's genitals. And time, in and of itself, we should resurrect Einstein and get him in this conversation. He'll tell you more about it than me. But, you know, time's all happening at once, they say. And that, you know, it's not linear like we believe. And there's another dimension where everything happens at once. Have you seen Interstellar?
Yes.
Cool. So if you fuck her after she's been fucked, you're fucking her the same time she is being fucked, and the dick is in there with your dick, and it's all happening in one big fucking time warp of jizz.
Is that
and it's
just-
better if you're just nowhere near it. If you just
But
don't
this
go anywhere near
conversation
it.
is getting me
This
really wet.
Well, this is the thing. Well, I'm sure that when I see your next event, time warp of jizz, I expect a cut. But so for me,
Crazy.
you know, women say this. Oh yeah, but it was before I met you. I don't give a fuck if it was before you knew my name. You got fucked, and that's disgusting, and that offends me now. You cheated on me before I met you. That is terrible.
Is
because
that
it's-
not your insecurity?
Well, that's a perfect word. So people call it insecurity. You got onto my point. It's almost like you can read my mind, Rob. People call it insecurity. They say,
If you've
well,
got
if you're
1 inch, the other guys are going to have bigger dicks.
Well, people call it insecurity and people call it lots of things. But truthfully, what it is heterosexuality. And any of these men who go, oh, yeah, I don't mind her being covered in cum, they need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and probably get an AIDS test because they're gay. And that's fine. I mean, some people are gay. But you can be gay. You can have gay sex with a woman. Of course you can. I mean, the point of having sex with a woman is to get her pregnant, by and large. I'd argue that being horny in general is kind of gay. To be like, I'm so horny. Like, I'm a full-grown man. I'm so horny. I'm so horny. Like, who?
Yeah, but to me, gay's fucking another guy. It's
No.
their dick in
Gay's
their
doing
ass.
gay shit, bro. Gay's having sex with a woman without the intention of impregnating her, having sex with a woman who's covered in cum, fucking all this stuff. All this is just gay sex. It's all gay. Have sex with a woman and have a child.
What, so you only have sex on ovulation day?
It's not about that, but there has to be a
Okay, so you're
chance.
gay.
There has to be a chance of a child arriving.
But what about on your boat with 25 hoes?
Who says I even fuck them? You think, Rob, this is what I mean. You're
then there's
so
the fork and the
trapped in the
spoon.
Matrix. You're so trapped in the Matrix.
I think you're judging me, Andrew.
No, you think
You know I'm
think I'll
not
get
trapped
20
in the. You know I'm not trapped in the
You
Matrix.
think I'll get 25 whores on a boat and then be like, yeah, let me fuck them? No, I just want 25 whores on my boat because it's like I want whores on my boat. I want trees in my forest. Like they're just there because I've got a boat.
That is.
I've got a boat, and
I
there's
just
women
want
on my
trees in
boat,
my forest.
and they're
That's
all
wild.
beautiful, and everyone's jealous of me while I sit there. And even though they all annoy me, and I don't even want to fuck them, I just sit on my laptop. But that's just life. It's not even about fucking them. It's not about the sex. You're thinking about sex. This is beyond sex. Nothing to do with sex.
Unless you're only having sex on ovulation, then you're gay.
Well-
Because then that's the only way a girl's conceiving really is around ovulation.
Well, my point is that if there is a slight chance, and there's always a chance.
Very, very slim though.
Okay, but if there's a chance,
So okay, you're 50%
if
gay.
there's a chance of a baby appearing,
Yeah.
then I would argue that that is pretty heterosexual sex because heterosexual sex leads to babies. What is the differentiator between heterosexual and homosexual sex? The primary differentiator between the two is offspring. So if you're having sex that cannot possibly lead to offspring in any way, that is gay sex.
Yeah, but who's to
If
say
you're fucking a girl in the ass, you're gay. Why?
Don't
If
worry,
you're
I'm not
turning
doing
up with a
anal.
condom and fucking a woman on birth control, you're gay.
Do you do
If
anything
you're
for
a-
pleasure?
if
Do
you're
you
a-
do anything just
if
for
you're
fun,
a white
Andrew?
man who gets his fucking balls cut open, I know white boys who voluntarily get vasectomies. They voluntarily have their dick chopped to pieces just to make sure they don't accidentally have a beautiful child. Like, how fucking gay can you be? This is all gay sex. If I have sex, there's a chance of a kid. That's the life I live. That's the man I am. If the kid comes, it's a blessing from God. Good. If no kid comes, fine. That's how it is.
How do you
But if
think-
you were to say to me, Andrew, you can come have sex here, and there's no chance of there ever being a kid. It's just for fun.
There's always a
I would
chance,
say,
though.
sorry, I'm not gay.
Condoms aren't 100% reliable. So that day, someone did have a 0.01% chance of impregnating me.
Yeah, but they're trying to not have a kid.
Well, how do you know? Did you ask her?
Well, if you have a condom on, you're trying not to have a kid.
Who said I didn't put a pin in it?
The man putting a
That's-
condom on his dick is trying.
That's
to have a
crazy.
kid. The realest nigger there would turn up and say, listen, I'm going to impregnate in Bonnie Blue. You all keep the condoms on. Fuck it. I'm having a baby out of this bitch because I ain't fucking for free. So let me get a kid at least. I mean, you got money to look after it. You can just block you on WhatsApp. You can raise it. That's free. That's free progeny. These people ain't thinking right.
Do you do anything just for fun?
Loads of stuff.
Like what?
But I don't think running around. I mean, maybe when I was younger, but I'm an old man now. I'm old. I'm 38. I really have no interest in fucking dead puss. You know when girls sit and say, I'm on birth control. Disgusting. Vile. There's nothing more disgusting than a bitch on birth control.
Yeah, but I think it's
Dead pussy.
disgusting if women get pregnant and they can't afford to look after that kid, or they're not in a
wild.
council house on benefits, and that kid has a
No,
shit
no, no.
life.
This is good. Bonnie,
Well,
this
that's
is
good.
No, no. Let me explain.
We're gonna run out of beans.
No, let me explain. This is a great thing. Feminism's led us here, and we voted to let in all these migrants, and all these migrants turn up and rape the state. Look, I've got hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
If I got a woman pregnant and she annoyed me, I'd say, yeah, call the council. Fuck you. Let's just rape the state like everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm brown enough. I'm black enough. I can do it. Put her in Marsh Farm, Luton, where I'm from. Be fine.
You wouldn't do that.
Who gives a fuck?
You wouldn't do
Who
Yeah, but that's your
cares?
kid.
She better text me respectfully. She can be rich. If she texts me beef, I'll be like, call the council, get a council house, whatever. Let's have kids. Let's just all live off the government. This is feminism. Because you don't live off the government if you have a husband. They don't want husbands. And they don't want husbands. Women want to get married, but they don't want husbands. They want to get married like Sex in the City style. You know, like you fuck a million men, then you get married to some really rich guy who lets you do whatever you want. Then you have an affair with the gardener, and then you spend all his money, and then somehow you're still the victim. That's the kind of marriage they want.
That's
they
most
don't
women's
want
dream.
That's right. They don't actually want to be wives, because wives are obedient, and wives are quiet, and wives listen. All women say this. I want to marry you, I want to marry you. Wait till you're in an argument with them and read their messages and go, this is why I will never marry you. This is why I will never marry you. I read their messages and they don't realize that they've ruined their chance forever. I cannot marry you because of how you talk. A wife doesn't do this. I told you to be quiet 3 times.
What you can
And
do is
here
say,
you are.
go and get on that naughty corner.
That's right.
That naughty step.
So women don't want to be wives. They want to just get married, which means that the whole familiar structure is broken. Once the family structure is broken, who has to take the place? Government. Think about this. In Romania, we have no mental health care. Why are there no mental people or out in the streets? Family. We have no forced child support. Why are women not starving to death? Family. We have no disability care. Why are people not sitting on the streets with no legs? Family. Family does so much work. In the West, we have no family. So the government has to come along and offer mental health care, disability care, forced child support. The government has to do it because of feminism. So what I'm saying is if women don't want to get married to men anymore and they all want to listen to the fucking government, then the government can raise the motherfucking kids. Fine. Rob, you put 4 women in front of me, all different flavors. You give me Indian, Chinese, black, white, whatever. And you say you fuck them all and have a kid out of all of them and they'll all be raised on council estates around England. I'd say no problem. Why not? Why the fuck not? If they're real niggers, they'll survive.
If you don't feel guilty, that's your child.
Why would I feel guilty?
Because
How
that's
I was
your
raised.
child, it's your DNA.
Of course, and if the woman's nice to me and says, Andrew, I'm tired of living in Runcorn.
But the
Can I come
kids
live in Dubai
shouldn't-
in a mansion? I'll say, of
Yeah.
course, my dear.
Then, in fact,
And
the
then,
kids
but
have to
then,
take the
but
hit
then
of
if
it.
she annoys me, if she's like, oh, I'm here in Dubai and you left me by myself and you're with all these other women, who are all these whores on your boat?
Kill, take
Then
the
I'll be like,
kid
bitch,
off
go
her.
back to Runcorn.
Take the kid off her.
No, I'm not gonna take the kid off her. She can keep the kid. Take the
Yeah, but
money.
it's your DNA.
Yeah, of course.
Mm.
And my DNA is survivor DNA.
But if
Survivor
you've got
bias.
a proper
If
wife,
I
that
have
other
50
wife will take
kids,
that
at
kid.
least 5 of them will be real niggas. I don't need the other 45 look
Okay,
at
I see
survival
what
of
you can
fittest
do.
out here. This is how it works. This is how my brain works. But you're saying, I don't know why we're going to sit here and create the logic fail of pretending it is wrong for a government to raise the children when that was a man's job, when men have had all of their authority removed. You want us to have the responsibility of a woman, the responsibility of a family, the responsibility of children, the responsibilities with none of the authority. You can't tell a woman what to do. You can't tell her to be quiet. You can't tell your kids off. You can't tell her not to suck dick. You can't tell her not to go out with her friends. If you do any of that, it's emotionally coercive behavior. That's a criminal charge in England. If you tell your own wife not to go to the pub and fuck, you're the criminal.
But, oh, you're so controlling.
That's
oh, you
right.
Let me do stuff.
But I'm still responsible? No. It looks like the government has more power than me. So if you want to play this game and take all of my authority away as a man, you want to reduce me to nothing more than a tax slave. Well, then I'm going to play your game back at you. I have no authority, so I have no responsibility. I will look after children, and I will look after the women who give me absolute authority over their lives, who say, yes, sir, anything you say, sir, I trust what you believe in the world. I trust you're guiding us. I trust you to take care of us. Yes, sir. Those women are driving Bentleys currently, living in mansions currently. And the women who say, I don't want to listen to you, I want to do what I want, are currently in council houses. And I have kids with all of them. And I don't give a fuck. Because this is my masculine imperative, to impregnate. And when I die, no matter what you think of me, no matter what anyone thinks of me, no matter what anyone watches this, has a bad problem with me, whatever, I get to die with 100 children. I win. I had 100 kids. I was one of the most famous men on the planet, made hundreds of millions of dollars, spent a little time in jail, whatever. I win. Great life. Genghis Khan. There's men out there who go, oh no, I've got my 2 kids, that's enough. That's your choice. To me, it sounds like failure. Perma-failure. And the only reason they're doing that is because their women wouldn't give them more. Or they're afraid to have kids with another woman in case their woman finds out.
A lot of guys say, like I speak to, the wife wants another kid, but they don't want it because they know they'd have to work longer hours. They know they'd have to do more work. Yeah, the wife wants another kid because she's like, fucking hell, what's going to happen in a few months? I'm going to have to go back to work. I don't want to go back to work. Hey, I'm going to pop out another kid. So a lot of the time, I think the women do want more kids and the dads don't, but it's because of the pressure. They know that that additional kid is going to mean in terms of income.
It's because they're gay. They're gay.
Bonnie, do you think Andrew Tate is guilty of the charges against him?
I don't know. What's the saying? Innocent till proven. No, yeah, innocent till proven guilty. Are you a
But
rapist?
what do you really think? What do you think?
No, I think why would he? He gets pussy easy enough. Why go and cause drama for yourself?
Bonnie
That's honestly
is
what
the
I think.
most based person. You know that you're probably one of the smartest women I've spoken to.
I'm quite smart. To
No.
say I'm a slut, I have a brain and I am smart only in what I do. For example, like if you ask me about sex work, media, or marketing, I've got an answer. You ask me about other shit, I don't know. I don't even know where. I thought we was on an island right now. We're not. But I think, why would someone like Andrew go and rape someone? He can get like unlimited pussy. Why cause a headache for yourself? Why go and pay a lawyer? Why give more money to the government? He could just join my queue. I've seen him there multiple times.
Like my cue.
Right,
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Bonnie's based. Bonnie understands the world very well. I think that's why we kind of understand each other. She understands the world very well. Of course, I haven't raped anyone. What I did was not buy girls handbags who wanted handbags, and then they did what women do, which is cry rape.
They want attention and they want money.
Of course, they want attention and money. And everyone with a brain knows they want attention and money.
Did they cry rape, or was it the system that came for you first?
Well, this is the thing. When the system starts calling every single woman and promises them money, and you've slept with a bunch of them, they only need to find 1 or 2 out of the 1,000, and then there you go. And then they can make criminal charges on you, which is what they did to me. They call 1,000 women, they find a couple who want money or fame, and they get them to make lies up about you so that the government can attack you. This is my point by and large. This is why, if anyone's confused about my opinions on anything, I want you to understand, men now, we are such second-class citizens. We have no authority, we have no autonomy, we have nothing left inside of us because we have no capability to even defend ourselves against heinous allegations which are raised in retrospect of action. We're expected to pay all the taxes. We're expected to build the roads. We're expected to go to work every day. We're expected to die in a ditch if the country needs defending. We're expected to stay on the boat when the boat is sinking. We're expected to do all of these things. But it turns out the government and women can wreck us by and large. We are nothing but slaves and serfs to the matriarchy now. And because we live in this matriarchal system where men are absolutely abused, nobody gives a shit about our mental health. Nobody gives a shit about our physical health. All we talk about is breast cancer. That's not even the top 10 cancers, I believe. I think prostate cancer's 10 times the amount. Nobody gives a fuck if men die. Nobody gives a fuck if we kill ourselves. Nobody cares if we do worse in school. Nobody cares most of us go to jail. They don't care about any of it. So we are slaves. So what I do as a slave is say, well, if I'm a slave here in this system, then I don't see why I need to be responsible enough to worry about paying for this kid, for example. If you're going to treat me like a fucking bitch and the government's going to come along like Big Daddy, is going to poison my woman's mind so she doesn't listen to me, is going to rape me in a divorce court, is going to throw me in jail based on false allegations, then how about you pay for the fucking children? Fuck you.
Exo Charles, welcome to the stream, dude. I'm sorry this isn't I'm not very talkative right now. I'm actually working on a project for a a friend of mine. He had a job for me. Basically, he wanted me to design something with Green Lantern and also with Catwoman. So I went ahead and threw it together. I told him I would do it on stream and then also sent it to him on Discord. But I wanted to listen to this Andrew Tate, Bonnie Blue podcast in the background. So far, it just seems like that Andrew Tate he's very subdued. He's not like the same type of person he used to be in terms of like speaking everything and saying everything and just putting it out there, because I think he has now experienced being behind bars for what he has said. So now he's really kind of parsing out his words and not saying everything and kind of letting people coexist, you know? Like, I think normally he would have never been on a podcast with Bonnie Blue, embracing like the type of lifestyle that she has, really just kind of, you know, he would probably be talking down to her and, you know, just being completely honest. I think he would have completely just told her like, yo, you're totally like, you're what's wrong with society. But he hasn't said any of that. He has, if anything, he's just said, look, I think it's great that she's making all this money. You know, like he doesn't have anything really negative to say about it. And it's very different. It's very weird hearing him say this. So it's just a different, changed Andrew Tate now.
That's my view.
What do you think about that?
But welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome.
Do you think like men are the lowest in society now?
I think men, if they speak out, they literally don't have a word against women nowadays. Especially with rape, there is a lot of men that get away with it, and that's terrible. But there's a lot of girls that just haven't got the right way, and the next day they cry rape. And I'm not saying that's all women. Rape does happen. It happens regardless. But like, like blaming Andrew for that. It's just girls that want attention. Those girls come forward like, oh my God, I'm the girl that Andrew Tate raped. They'll Instagram will shoot through the roof. They'll get paid. They'll probably get some sort of clothing brand deal because it's, oh my God, it's women empowerment. Look, you spoke out against someone that's, you know, so hated. They'll be credited even though their stories are fake. They're the ones that will get praised.
100%. Bonnie is
but
smart.
you blame feminism on it.
Well, I blame a society in which women have been told that they can do and have anything they want all of the time. And we live in this unrealistic subsect of events. The world we now live in is completely unrealistic on basically every level.
That's how Bonnie is living, isn't it?
Well, no, I think Bonnie is actually taking...
I'm not crying rape. I'm not
She's
saying,
not crying rape.
People are taking advantage of me. I'm there saying, look, I'm a slut, I'm a whore, my holes are open. Come do it. But then when women say I'm taking them back, I'll give you the stats that I'm actually reducing rape rates.
Rob, this is important. Because Bonnie is the only person who is honest. Saying, I'm a whore, fuck me, and I'll make money from it, is far more honest than saying, oh, I love you so much, I'll be your girlfriend. Oh, can you buy me this handbag? Oh, you won't buy me the handbag, rape. Or, I love you so much, let's get married. Oh, I'm unhappy in this marriage, give me half your stuff. She's the most honest woman of all. This is exactly what men should be hoping for, to meet a woman this honest. Because most women...
I'm not going to hide my past. I'm not going to say, you know what, I'm really innocent. I'll say, you know what, I fucked 1,057 men. Yes, I want to get to a body goal of 10,000. But I am honest. I'm not hiding it. My phone hasn't got a password. Like, I am just so open and transparent.
You want to get to a body count of 10,000 men?
Yeah.
Would you rather meet Bonnie, who tells you all of this, or a woman who goes, oh, really? No, I haven't really done much, when she's done everything and she's been a total fucking whore and she's lying to you? And then you marry her believing she's a good girl, and then she takes you to the divorce court and completely wrecks you. You know what? Men say, oh, my woman's not a gold digger. Go to divorce court. Don't talk about gold diggers. Go to divorce court and you will soon learn that every single female on the planet wants your money. All. I've never seen anybody go to divorce court and say, she's not after my money, funnily enough. She just wants to get a divorce. No, every single time they want every
take
fucking...
the house.
They want to take everything. They're all gold diggers. So it's actually very interesting. I respect Bonnie because you know exactly what you're getting. If you show me a scorpion and I know you're a scorpion, fine. Don't put a scorpion in a fucking bunny suit. You understand?
With me, you get good technique and money.
You get it's honest. I respect the honesty of it. And people are going to sit here, and there are people who do it. They're going to sit here and go, what Bonnie Blue does is disgusting. Ain't that right, babe? Ain't that right, babe? And they'll hold Babe's hand, knowing that Babe's fucking worse. Babe's a fucking skank. They met her in a fucking pub, three Jägermeisters in. She's prepared to fuck that guy, whoever he is, who's a fucking nobody. You're watching this at home, all you guys watching this at home, and you think your wife really loves you. Do you think I couldn't take your bitch? Of course I could. She chose you because she ain't met me, bruv. That's it. So, like, you're pretending your wife's any better? It's bullshit. I love Bonnie's honesty. And she knows, I'm going to bring her to court. You're my lawyer. I'm adding you to the legal team. This bitch is lying. She wanted money. That's it. So as a man now, you talk about the different forks and spoons and stuff. Let's talk about this. If I have a woman who I take care of and she's wifey and whatever, she's wifey in a certain scenario, that's fine. But if I'm going to put 25 girls on a boat, don't I want girls who are honest, who are open, who know why they're there? They're there because I'm rich and I have them there because they're hot and we all know why everyone's there. I'm less likely to get trouble with those kind of women than the women who go, oh, I'm so innocent, I'm so sweet.
But Andrew took advantage of me. Andrew took me on a boat and this and this happened. Whereas, like, you take me on a boat, guaranteed no, you know, your lawyers aren't getting involved. I'll say, if anything, I put it on you. That's more realistic.
What advice would you give to Bonnie now she's starting to get cancelled like you've been?
Well, I'm sure she's smart enough to understand have to find a way to monetize and become independent outside of the matrix like I did. You have to find some clever ways to do it, and it's very doable. I think Bonnie's going to continue to get paid using what she knows how to do to become financially successful, which is a fantastic thing to do. Why not? No point doing it for free. I think Bonnie's smart enough to work it all out. And I don't think she gives a shit what they say negative about her because there's no such thing as bad press. I mean, I'm probably the most negatively spoke about guy on the planet.
Does that bother you?
I don't give a fuck. And I just really, my only thing for Bonnie, and I'm actually going to ask you a question. I really hope, Bonnie, that you stay true to the end. I hope you're real G about this. I don't want you to start busting out a cross and talking about God in about 5 years from now.
I mean, I might insert it inside of me, but there's no way you're going to see me at church unless it's for a gangbang.
No, I don't want any of that I'm reformed bullshit. I don't want any of that crap and say my past doesn't matter because I've been born again. Please don't do that. I want you until the end in the old people's home. I want, petting zoo, 85-year-old petting zoo. I want you to do it to the end. And stay real about your choices.
100%.
All right. Well, then she's a real G. Then she made her decision. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Live by the code. Street life. It is what it is. Like me, I could have fucking pussied out by now. When they put me in jail, I could have started saying, yeah, women should vote. No, they shouldn't. So fuck you. Put me in jail. That I stick to what I mean. She's going to stick to what she means and what she says and what she wants to do. She's not going to start busting out and trying to use religion as a shield. Because that's what most of these OnlyFans girls do.
Yeah.
And there's always some white boy, especially
They've
white
got no
boys.
motivation. Like, they don't know what to do. They're like, okay, what can I do now? Oh, okay, my OF's dropping or my Fansly account's dropping. I know, let's just say I found God. They've got no motivation or drive in life. They have to be given a purpose. You have to be given a reason to live. It's either, have a couple
they don't
of
want to take
kids.
responsibility for what they did.
Yeah.
What they want to do is they want to erase their past. So they want to get, these OnlyFans girls, they say, oh, I'm traditional now and God, and they wave a cross around. And then some little white boy who goes to church all the time, who's never had pussy in his life, is like, she's reformed. Bro, pathetic. But the women get away with it. So as long as they get away with it, you can't blame the thief for stealing. You got to blame the guy who didn't lock his gold up, truthfully. And if these women get away with this scam and men want to fall for it, then it's up to them.
So
but
what Bonnie's doing is a scam, is it?
No, I just don't want Bonnie to ever, change up the game. Stick to what you know.
One rule for one and one rule for another. And that's what's
No,
annoying.
but I find this interesting because most people are too fucking stupid to understand these false dichotomies we live under. And let's take Diddy, for example, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not defending Diddy.
Yeah.
What he did was probably wrong. I don't know. I haven't followed the case. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know what the fuck Diddy did. The guy, he was anti-Trump. He hated me. Me and Diddy don't even like each other. The only time we interacted on Twitter was beef. So I'm not defending the guy. What I'm saying is that black culture in America, the music, the culture, all it is sexualizing women and whores, getting as much money as possible, being a gangster, waving guns around, fucking loads of women. That's the culture.
That sounds like you.
Careful. So if that's the culture that the black society is going to promote, if that's what the music is going to push, if that's what's seen as the end goal of success in the black community, becoming a rapper, becoming famous, having a bunch of whores, fucking a bunch of whores, being feared, having guns, being a gangster, being a criminal, if all of this is what they're pushing and they're saying this is the end goal of success, and then someone gets there and does it, and then we say, he was threatening women and he was waving a gun around and he was fucking loads of women. So what I'm saying is, it's very hypocritical, this society we live in now, where we push people in a certain direction, and then as soon as they end up exactly where they're headed, we have a go at them for it and pretend they shouldn't be there. It is absolutely false to declare that women are not being sexualized. Women are told to be promiscuous now. Women are told to be sexual now. Yeah. So when a woman ends up promiscuous and sexually liberated, who are we to sit and say, I can't believe this has happened? It's completely asinine. It's a double standard. It's a false dichotomy. And it's amazing to me that we live in this world. If you're going to have black rap music push people to be in big mansions with a bunch of whores fucking them, taking drugs and waving guns around, don't be surprised when black people do it. And don't be surprised when women end up as whores when we're telling women to be whores. If you want women to do something else, then tell them to do something else. I don't know why we're surprised by it. The thing that's unsettling in all of this is still the role of the average man, who's expected to get far less in terms of loyalty and quality and standard from a woman than he's ever had and pay a far higher price. Our grandfathers got a woman. He didn't have to be rich. He didn't have to even be famous. He didn't have to be successful. He just had to be a man and do the most basic things. And she loved him and he loved her and they had a happy relationship. Our grandfathers got a woman for fuck all. Now, to get a woman who cares about you, you need to be one of the most famous, rich, well-known, drive a Lambo, this, X, Y, Z. The average man's fucking wrecked. Yeah. And the role of men in all of this is completely forgotten because nobody gives a shit about men. We're hypersexualizing women. And let's be honest, Bonnie is smart enough to monetize her own content. But most women who are promiscuous are not smart enough to monetize.
But isn't Bonnie part of the problem then?
Bonnie is a symptom of society. I don't want to say of the disease of society. I could, but she's a symptom. She's the end result of the society we have built, which is why it's hypocritical.
Which you think is degrading.
I'm living the best I can in the world that's already been built. I don't give a shit about changing the world. The world has given me the opportunity to do what I do and monetize from it. I'm going to do that.
You said you thought you were a positive role model.
No, but Rob.
Well, I am positive because you think of the day I fucked 1,000 men. If you was a rapist, would you go and find someone else? No, I've shared my location. Come and fuck me. Like, I'm reducing rape rates because when you have sex workers that are available and guys want to have sex, they want to breed, they want to fuck. And if they can't find a girlfriend or they can't afford to pay for one, because prostitutes nowadays can be expensive, I'm saying, hey, I'm doing it for free. Just come fuck me. Take it out on me because I consent to that. So I'm not promoting, people say I promote rape culture and stuff. I'm not. I'm saying, hey, I enjoy it. I get wet. I get turned on. I wank over my videos. Come and fuck me. Save yourself paying a lawyer. Like, I'm actually doing people work. Bet that day, if you was a rapist, not that I'm obviously promoting it, but it's like, okay, well, actually, I'll just go and fuck Bonnie. She's there. It's easy work. She's already shared a location.
What she just said to you, does that shock you?
None of this shocks me.
No, but do you find it, would you disagree with it? What she's doing? Would you, when you hear what she's talking about, do you sit and think you shouldn't be doing that? Because I'm trying to lead you down a trap here.
Of course you are. You always fucking do.
No,
right.
Okay. Well,
no, let me answer then.
Sure.
I'm quite neutral on it.
Okay.
Because I think that I imagine for some men it is useful.
Yeah.
The service you provide. I imagine other men get probably a bit fucked up by it, and it.
Do you believe Bonnie has the right to make the choices she's making?
I believe you do. She does. I do. We all do. As
Then
long
you
as
can't
it's
have
legal.
then it's impossible to have any kind of problem with it, surely.
I think you can have an opinion on it.
You
but
just tried to cul-de-sac me there, didn't you, Andrew?
No, the point I'm making is the same people who are going to sit and say what Bonnie's doing is wrong and she shouldn't be allowed to do it are also the same people who say women should be allowed to vote. It's one or the other. Either women do not have the ability to make their own decisions or they do.
See, if I cared enough about what was going off or think I could change it by voting,
but you can't.
The world is fucked. So yeah, I don't bother. I don't bother looking in the news or anything like that.
Of course.
And also, why
but you're
should I look at the
confusing me
news?
because you say you don't give a fuck about anything on the world and it's just about you, but then you're trying to promote that you're a great role model for men.
I care about mental health, and I care about draining their balls and having fun and having orgasms. The only time I talk about the rape rates is when women are crying, saying I'm increasing it. So if you want to start crying and making TikToks and making false allegations, I'll slap you in the face with the facts. The facts are 32% is decreased because of sex workers.
Women can't change the world, Rob. Let's look at this. Let's take this away from Bonnie for a second.
But haven't you said that feminism's just taken over?
Feminism was given to women by men. Men are the only ones who can project force, Rob. Feminism is a male movement. You think if women march around in the street outside, anybody gives a fuck? The only reason they get away with it is because men stand around them with guns. Men enforce feminism. Men project force. If women really wanted to fight the patriarchy, and they don't, trust me, the reason they say they want to fight the patriarchy is because the patriarchy doesn't fight back. If it became a real fight, patriarchy versus women, it would last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And when the riot horses start storming in with the batons, women would very quickly get back in the kitchen. So there's no such thing as female power. It's given to them by men. And it's given to them by subsects of men who are actually trying to damage masculinity. It's very interesting. Imagine it this way. Every single man out there is fucked, and every single man out there has a past. So every single man out there can have all of his exes contacted and find the Jezebels who want money and can be attacked. So why does it only happen to some men? Well, women are the conduit for attack, and the different groups of men decide to use women as a conduit to attack their enemies. Feminism is a group of men using women against other men. That's all it is. Women are the tools, and women are the symptoms. Women can't change society. Bonnie can't change anything. She's a symptom of the society she grew up in.
She thinks she can change men's mental health.
No, she's saying she can help with men's mental health, but she can't change society. Women, by and large, can't do anything. Women can march all day, every day. Nobody gives a fuck.
If you saw women marching there now, I'd look and think, oh, fucking hell, what have they done, Chip-to-nail? If I saw men
That's
marching,
called a
I'd
revolution.
think, God, something's going wrong. Something's happening.
Because men
I
can
should
be violent.
concerned.
So she is a symptom of society. And what I'm saying is, unless you're prepared to stand up and say the entire society needs rewiring, women shouldn't be allowed to vote anymore. Women should not be having sex outside of wedlock. Unless you're going to start saying all of these things, you shouldn't have an opinion on Bonnie. Your opinion on Bonnie should be, she is the end result of the society we have built and promoted. She is acting how society has told her to act to get as far ahead as possible. She is being extremely successful financially. She's notorious. She's sitting with one of the most famous men on the fucking planet. She's done a fantastic job for herself, built on the parameters that we've given her to live within. Yeah. Here's the rules of the game. She's played the game the best. If you're unhappy with what she's doing, change the rules of the game. But when men sit here and go, no, women should vote. And yeah, I listen to my wife and I listen to her opinions and me and my wife are best friends and I love what women think, but Bonnie shouldn't do that. That's hypocritical and stupid. That's dumb. All women, to some degree, are sex working. And the reason I respect what Bonnie's doing is because Bonnie's making her own money with her own brains and being very honest and open about what she's doing. I respect what Bonnie's doing far more than the girls who have attacked me for rape charges, who got with me, asked for money, I said no, and then tried to put me in jail for it. That's sex work, but it's just criminal. It's just disingenuous. I respect Bonnie a lot more than the woman who goes out there and gets married to a man she barely loves and divorces him 2 years later and takes half of his estate. I respect Bonnie a lot more than the women who are out in Dubai dating 5 or 6, 7 different men, just getting handbags and rent and all of this stuff and pretending to be an angel and putting boss chick working real estate on her fucking Instagram. All these women are doing the same shit, but Bonnie's open about it. Bonnie's honest about it. If you want to be with Bonnie, and Bonnie, you were married, I believe, or you had a boyfriend.
Yeah, I'm still going through a divorce.
Okay, yeah. If you want to be with Bonnie, you know what you're getting. That's your decision. That's your prerogative. That's honest. That's great. Most of these men out here are married to women just the same as Bonnie. They don't even fucking know it. And if you told them, they'd deny it. If I open my Instagram now and see one of my exes getting married and I message her husband right now on Instagram saying, she's a hoe, XYZ, he'll defend her. No, she ain't. You're a rapist. Go fucking retard. So most of these women out here are the same shit anyway. I absolutely love people. You know what I love, Rob? Karmic retribution. I love, you know, when you see a man play with fire, then he gets burnt. And you're like, shouldn't have been playing with fire. I love it. We said women, let them do whatever they want. I was sitting there years ago saying, no, guys, no. We need to have children. I tried my best. They tried to put me in jail. Did women try and put me in jail? Well, yes, but who really tried to put me in jail? Men. Men tried to put me in jail. It's a male judge, male police officers dragging me in and out the cell, men locking me in the room, men defending these women who lie. Men want me in jail for trying to protect society. But this is the world they wanted. I hope we have more Bonnie Blues. I hope every woman just fucks everything. And I hope all of society burns. I've given up. Yeah. This is what they wanted. So let's give them what they wanted. Do it.
How would God judge Bonnie Blue?
Well,
if God existed.
Arguing about God and whether he exists or not is a completely different topic. But, I mean, the holy books have a whole bunch of lessons to be learned. And I would argue that one of the primary objectives of religion, all religions, since the dawn of time, has been trying to protect society from female sexuality, because female sexuality is unchecked, unlike male sexuality. Female sexuality, if it goes unchecked, results in some degree of chaos. All religions are telling women not to be overly sexual for a reason, because they know how society ends. That's why I said earlier we're in the end times. So how would God judge Bonnie? I don't know. Would he judge her? Or would he judge the society which created her? I'm not sure. But a society of absolute promiscuity leads to a whole bunch of problems that come later down the line, because men lose vested interest in the society with the promiscuity. If there's a kid that exists, and I'm sure he's mine, I have a vested interest. But if that woman's promiscuous and I'm not 100% sure that child is mine or not, then I have a less of a vested interest. And yeah, there's DNA tests and there's certain things. But before modern science, there was none of that. The only thing that gave me a vested interest in the child or the woman was the fact that my paternity was secured and it was guaranteed. And it was guaranteed through sexual exclusivity, which is why we've tried very hard to counter promiscuity for so long. Because men lose all interest in family, by extension, all interest in society, when we do not have guaranteed paternity. But once again, who am I to tell society how to be? Because every single time I do, men try and put me in jail. You know, the enemy of the world are not women or whores or the good girls or the bad girls, anything. The enemy of the world are the simps. It's simps that did all this shit. It's simpy ass men who listen to women's opinions, who did all of this crap. And here we are. Simps did it. Simps are the most dangerous men on the fucking planet. Simps are going to sit there and, like what I said earlier, if I message one of the guys who's marrying one of my exes now, he's going to simp over her, tell her how much he loves her, and pretend I'm the bad guy. For doing what? Sleeping with his wife when she wanted it? Simps are the enemy of the society, and simps have built all of this shit.
And a lot of them simps, I guess, are going to sleep with Bonnie, aren't they?
Well, they're all in love with her, and I don't blame them, because they're fucking losers. No disrespect.
No, yeah, so I don't find him as losers. Like, before I did judge him, like, before I spent hours and hours chatting to him and stuff, I think that's weird, or why have they requested that? But you know what? I'm saying not
So you used to judge the men you slept with.
until I actually educated myself on it. Yeah, and that's like most things. You judge things until you educate yourself.
And what have you learned about men sleeping with thousands of them?
That a lot of the time it's the women's fault. It's the women's fault. Is why they're in my queue. If they'd have sucked them off that day, the balls would have been drained, and they wouldn't have come and given me a facial. The balls wasn't drained, therefore they was in my queue. And a lot of these men, it's not because they don't love their family, they don't love their wife and their kids. That's one thing. Having sex is separate.
True.
And also a lot of these men, it's just sex to them.
True.
They're not asking for an emotional connection. And a lot of them sometimes just feel lonely because the world lets them down in loads of ways. They're made to work. They're made to provide. They're made to look after the kids. Still.
All right, guys. So I know I've been quiet this whole time, but I just want to show you guys. I went ahead and finished everything. So let me see if I can zoom in on this. I don't know if I can. Oh, is this already sent? There we go. So that's the first thing I did. That's the Green Lantern and the stained glass that he was telling me about. And then this is the Catwoman he told me to do. Got that done with the girl's face. This is a vector image now, so I can send it to him in a PDF as well. So if he needs to print it up, whatever. So that's done with the girl's face, and same with this one. I think it looks good. I think it came out all right. All right. So I just had to finish that. Now we can focus on this whole thing. There we go. All right. About an hour and 16 minutes in. I didn't think that was going to take that long, but we got it done. Cook Betty said, beautiful. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, so I was supposed to drop the video that I was working on all week. It is, I'm not going to really tell you guys what it is, but I probably have like one more section left in it. So it's probably going to either be dropping Sunday night. It should take, because I pretty much got everything done for the most part. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to drop it. Probably going to drop it around, I guess, noon tomorrow. I'll schedule it to be dropped at noon. So if you guys want to watch it, you guys can watch it. But yeah, it's probably good. It's going to be kind of in the same vein as the Breaking Bad Better Call Saul video. So if you guys like that, that's it's going to be kind of like that. So let's finish this podcast here, and we can go back and critique it now.
Or empty the dishes. Like, they're made to do so much, and they feel lonely. They can't go and say to their wife, you know what, work was hard today. She'll bite back and say, oh, the kids kept me up, this happened, and they dropped their yogurt on the floor.
Oh, hold on. Just so that my computer won't be lagging, let me close all of these programs. I don't want my computer to lag anymore. I'm sure it was lagging the whole time. Let's save that. Okay. So now you guys kind of see my process. Close what out? Close that. Save that. There we go. Is that everything? All right, cool. All right, let's get back to it.
They've always got something to complain about, whereas I'm not that. I'm not like every other woman. They get to come to me and I'll listen to them and I will cater to their fetish. As long as it's within my boundaries, I will do that for them because I'm like, I want to do that. I want to help you. I want to make your day a bit better because your wife isn't doing that. So I want to do that. So I don't find them weird. Like before, some of their requests, I'd be thinking, fuck me, like, where did you think of that? That's a bit weird, or that's odd. How are you getting off to that? And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to judge them. I don't know what they're going through to a certain degree. If I can make their day a bit better, I want to do that because I'm a good person.
Would you not say, though, Andrew, that's a weak man that's going to Bonnie?
I think men take what they can get. And I think that it is the masculine imperative to take what they can get. Like, once again, I try not to be a hypocrite. I try very hard to be very fair with all of my views.
Okay, so I'm going to finally speak up. I think that the old Andrew Tate would have said, men, stay away from this woman. Okay, resist this woman. But now he's just like, men will take whatever they can get. Like, he's not even trying to like guide men in a way to like resist this type of temptation and like just keep striving for the best of the best and don't take don't take the buffet that everybody's eating from, you know? Like, find somebody of value and, you know, but I guess, I don't know. It seems like Andrew Tate has really just kind of embraced this whole, like, culture of just degenerate behavior, and it's almost kind of like he's leaning into it. He's leaning into it because it was his bread and butter in the beginning, and, you know, now he's on the other side of it. But that's literally how he got his money in the first place. So I don't know. I guess he just can't hate. You know, haters can't hate.
So let me answer myself. If I was walking down the street and a beautiful woman come up to me and said, "Get me pregnant," no strings attached, I'd be like, "All right, safe. I'll take it. Why not? I'll take what you can get," right? The men who are going to Bonnie perhaps do not have the options I have. But then, like me, if I go to Saint-Tropez, Monaco, Dubai, the most beautiful women in the world are begging for me all day, every day. When I go to Dubai, all the women that you men are Instagramming, and she's ignoring you, is chasing me because I've got the money and the status, which is what they want. But then I'm ignoring them because I can't be asked with the rape charge. So it's the circle of life. Do I blame men for taking what they can get? No. If there's a group of men around and there's a whole bunch of jizz, they should be too straight to pull that off. But one-on-one, if they can handle the time vortex, if they can get, you know, a calculator and work it out, it is what it is. Sex used to result in children. That was the point of sex. And now we have the capability of having sex without children, which is a relatively new experiment. And this also happens with homosexuality, with gay people, why they keep doing more and more deprived things, because sex gets boring after a while. It's like drugs, right? You take a little bit and then you need more and you need more for more excitement all of the time. So where the hole ends, I don't know. Maybe a lot of this is down to porn addictions or those kind of things. I'll be here and I'll state completely honestly, and I say this before God and before the cameras, I don't watch porn. I haven't watched a porn clip in 20 years. I don't watch porn. Really I don't need to watch porn. I can barely get through my roster as it is. I ain't got time to be watching porn. I don't watch porn. I don't jerk off. I don't do any of that. I have too many females to service. I'm already behind. Like, I've got to hurry up on this podcast. I got shit to do. So I don't do any of that stuff. But if you're jerking off the porn all day, every day, perhaps you're always trying to find something new to excite you. That's why you end up looking at midgets and fucking whatever. And then perhaps the depravity is the exciting part of it, like drugs or like anything else. But this is just an end result of having sex without the primary objective of having children, because that should be the result of sex, is children. We've removed that now. So the point of sex is pleasure. But we all know that pleasure gets old and you have to constantly up the game and up the ante. I don't know. Do I blame the men for taking the free pussy when they have no other pussy on the table? Absolutely not. I don't blame them. Do I blame Bonnie for making a whole bunch of money off it? No. If I was unhappy with that exchange, would my problem be with Bonnie or the men? No. My problem would be with society as a whole. If I believed that was wrong, perhaps I would have been online years ago trying to stop society heading down this direction. But
yes. Yeah. The old Tate would have totally stopped, you know, men going down this not saying that, you know, he was good back then, because I mean, I think Andrew Tate has always been like this morally gray character, kind of an opportunist, if you will, you know, taking advantage, playing both sides. And this whole thing about men that don't have options taking the free opportunity to just queue up for Bonnie Blue, it's like, you don't have to accept that. And I feel like that's what he should have said. He's like, guys, you don't have to accept that. You know, you don't have to feed the machine. You don't have to pay her or not pay, because I mean, she doesn't charge, you know, but you shouldn't have to pay for anyone's OnlyFans or whatever like that. You know, like, just work on yourself, make yourself worth, you know, attracting somebody. You know, this whole, like, I think what it is taking the easy way out. It's taking the low road, when, you know, anything that's worth having is worth working hard for. And it just seems like he's not really projecting that message anymore, it seems like.
But if a whole bunch of men fought against me, turned up and raided my house with guns and waved MP5s in my face, saying that I'm a bad person for trying to protect society and saying what I believe society should function as, then I'd understand that men want this. So who am I to say otherwise? This is what men and women want. I'm just a fucking guy. I'm just a dude. This is the Western world we've built. We've built a Western world where men are just tax slaves and women are the most important things on the planet who can do whatever they fucking want, and they're always permanent victims / always permanently right, and they're girl bosses and we're dumbasses and we just have to build the roads and build the buildings and die in ditches, and this is all a woman's world and it's a matriarchy. So if that's the world we live in, let women do whatever the fuck they want. Cool. And the government can raise the kids. And this is the new society we've built, the new utopia. Fantastic.
Do you think Andrew's a good role model?
It depends which way you're looking at it. But yeah, everything he says.
Or how would you look at it?
Well, yeah, I guess. I think he is. I've heard clips before where you spoke about rape, and I think, God, I couldn't disagree more. But it's because I've looked at it out of context. Then when I've actually listened to the podcast and it's put in context, I'm like, he is completely right. So there's not many things, apart from him saying people are gay, I disagree with. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, that is true. It's factual. A lot of the time, we're not talking opinions. We're talking facts. Near enough everything we've spoken about today, when you talk about the past, the future, how it is, it's factual. You look on the news, everything we're saying is true. We're not here just saying, oh my God, I think this is vile. We're saying it's vile. Here's the stats. Here's the statistics to it. So you can disagree with it. We're not saying everything we agree with, but we're giving you the facts. You can't cry about that.
Right. How do you think people are going to take you being on this show with Bonnie Blue?
I don't know. I don't really know.
It's actually nice not being the most hated person in the room for a change.
Well, I'm sure, yeah. And I think I'd be uncomfortable and unfamiliar with not being the most hated person in the room. But I don't really give a fuck how people take it, to be honest. I think people will understand that, it's entertaining. I think that this conversation's been very interesting. I don't know if people expected me to have a go at Bonnie or try and tell her what she's doing is wrong.
I've been called the female version of Andrew Tate for a long time
Why?
now. And
What?
Just because I said,
How? How are you the female version of Andrew Tate?
women are lazy, they are poorly educated, they're not servicing their guy, and if you're not servicing your guy, he's going to go and cheat. And everyone's like, you basically sound like Andrew Tate. But it's like, I'm talking from experience. They're talking from fuck all experience. And I'm saying, hey, these are the facts. I've slept with over 1,000 people, and this is my experience.
But if you want a really intellectual conversation, if you want to really actually analyze society by and large, this false bullshit of male sexual exclusivity is actually creating most of the problems in the world today. When we say to women that a man should be loyal to only her, that's what's creating all of the divorces, all of the breakups, all of the women who run from man to man to man to man trying to find a loyal one. None of them are ever loyal. So then they end up just chasing the bag and chasing money and end up being sex workers, which is fine. But all of this comes from this bullshit idea that men have ever been sexually exclusive. Men have never been sexually exclusive. Women were to guarantee paternity. Men, since the dawn of time, every king, every sultan have had harems. They have.
All right, now this sounds like old Andrew Tate. Not that I support it, but this is definitely some old rhetoric that he's definitely regurgitating again.
Had concubines. Every single man who could did. The men who can't say they wouldn't and say they don't want it because they can't. It's like a broke man saying he wouldn't drive a Ferrari. No one gives a fuck what you think because you're poor. If you're actually important and you can have a harem, you have a harem. They always have. So now we have this weird society where men are out here trying very hard to compete in the sexual marketplace, to become as important and rich and successful and well-known as possible because it's so hard to get a woman. When they finally pull that off, women are chasing him because women only want the top 1% of men. And then when a woman gets with him, she tells him, you can only be with me and no one else. And then he's like, okay, well, you've been with a whole bunch of men before me. You're not even a fucking virgin. You don't even listen to me. You don't shut up when I tell you to. So why the fuck am I going to only be with you? I'll be with 10 women just like you. You all have big mouths. So if I'll just be with all of you. And then she's like, oh my God, he cheated. And then she'll run away and just do the same thing again with another guy. And before you know it, after 20 dicks, she sits there and goes, why am I fucking for free? Let me just get paid out of this. So then she says, all right, she either becomes a sex worker honestly or becomes a sex worker dishonestly via rape charges and rape claims. That's what they do. If you're a woman who makes a rape claim against a man and you have an OnlyFans, you literally use sex to make money. And you literally lie to men pretending to like them. And now you're doing the same thing in a courtroom. The court has become OnlyFans. The court's OnlyFans now. Nothing's different. A woman just gets her pussy and gets her tears or gets her lies, and she uses the court system to make money as opposed to using the OnlyFans platform. What's the difference?
I think
So you either have honest or
women...
dishonest sex workers. And all of this comes from the fact that we don't have a society where you say, a man at that stature is going to have 4 or 5 wives. Get over it. Life would be a lot simpler if we could. If women weren't brainwashed into believing they need a loyal man. A man is loyal to you when he puts up with you, protects you, and provides for you. If a man's paying your bills and will stop you getting attacked on the street and puts up with your emotions, that's loyal. Don't worry about where his dick goes. That's loyalty. He's shown you loyalty. And he can put his dick wherever he wants. That's actually loyalty.
What do you think about that?
See, I'm very different though, because I'm the one that does the income. They probably won't be working it, but the other way around, because women also want things to be different. So, like, I'm not saying I agree with that. Like, I think if I was with a guy, they probably wouldn't work. I'd be the one to be in control, and I'd be the one fucking loads of other guys, and they'd be loyal to me. Things are different.
Yeah, she'd be bossing it because she has the money. She's doing the protection and provision because she's got the cash. But what
Dude,
I'm saying,
I don't,
the happiest
I
women-
don't know any guy that would want to be in a relationship with Bonnie Blue and stay loyal to her while she continues on her work. That's crazy, bro. That is insane. Who would take that deal? That's crazy, bro. Even if she's like financing your entire lifestyle, like you would also have to be financing your therapy as well. Like, come on now. No man would take that deal.
Let's look, and this is cultural. Like if you go to Russia and you meet a billionaire, you think he has one wife. I mean, he has his wife, of course, and he has his fucking girlfriend. And his wife just keeps her eyes closed and doesn't care, and he gets to enjoy his girlfriends, and his wife gets to drive a G-Wagon, and everyone's happy. It's only in the West where she'll be like, I can't believe he wants to talk to another girl. It's stupid. And then women end up leaving men they love because he cheated, and then getting cheated on by a man they don't love. It's dumb. And it's just over and over and over again until they end up as sluts or old and used to the point where they can't get the quality of man they want. Then they're sitting around 36. I can't find a man who's, I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. Because the guys you like are with 22-year-olds, my dear. And you had a guy who loved you and you fucked it up because you cried over him cheating like an idiot. Women, find a man you love. Let him cheat. Just tell him to only come home to you and only love you. Let him do what he has to do. Don't stress him too much. Have some fucking kids. Drive a Bentley. That fixes society. But of course, if I say that, I'm a misogynist. I'm the worst man in the world. I deserve to go to jail.
If you said to that girl, go and work, go and earn your own money, go and do this, they don't want to do that either. So you've got to pick and choose. Like
when you tell women to go earn their own money, one way or another, it ends up being sex work. You tell me you don't see these female fucking estate agents, whatever, in their little girl suit and their makeup and all pretty. Have you ever seen like one of these successful girl boss estate agents who's obese? I'm asking.
I haven't seen an obese female estate agent, no.
Have you seen obese women achieve anything financially? Or are there, because if you say no, then you're saying the women are judged on how they look. So all version of female work is sex work. That's the question. Can women do anything without being judged on the one thing they have, which is their sexuality?
I think you could be an obese comedian and make money.
Women but then you'd be making jokes about the fact you're fat.
Yeah,
that's
and women
why
are
I find you funny.
Let's be honest, women aren't funny.
Aren't funny, did you say?
Of course not.
I think I've made you smile a few times.
Yeah, you've made me smile because I've been impressed by your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I've been impressed by how correctly you see society. But I think by and large, female comedians aren't really funny because humor is a masculine mating tactic. We have to make women laugh for them to like us, whereas women don't have to make us laugh. They have to be hot. Men fall in love with what they see. Women fall in love with what they hear.
Yeah.
Which is why women wear makeup. So we see something we like. And that's why men lie. So they hear something they like. Men lie. Every man on a date is a gangster and he's rich. You go, any girl go on a date with any guy. Women watching this, I know you've been on a date with some guy recently. He's got a few tattoos. He's got a sleeve. And he's a gangster. He's a criminal. And he's got all this money. And da-da. He's a fucking jackass. He's got like $6,000 in the bank and a rented car on finance. But he's just lying. He's trying to pretend he's the G. And, you know, you're going to fall for it. You're going to suck his dick. And then you're not even going to get paid out at the end of it. And then you're going to realize he's a loser and you're going to go get another boyfriend. So you were just sex working for free like a fucking idiot. You just got tricked. You can't trick Bonnie. Bonnie gets paid. You can't trick Bonnie. Bonnie gets her money at the end. You're dumbass. You're sucking dick for free. Like a fucking retard. So this is the world we live in now. So women are always judged on how they look, no matter what they do. Because the true biology, men are trying to find attractive women who can give them children, which is why we're attracted to women who are younger because they're more likely to get pregnant. That's why attraction in and of itself, what is attraction? Attraction is health. When you look at a woman who looks healthy or has good genetics, because she'll give you strong offspring. That's what attraction even is. So women are always going to use their attraction. Once a woman's obese and ugly, then she starts walking down the street screaming about fucking a bunch of garbage because she knows she can't compete in the true market of sexual dynamics, which is men have power and women have attraction. That's how it works. So I just think it's completely hypocritical for us as a Western society. I think it's absolutely insane to have any kind of opinions on sex work or Bonnie or anything else when women are using their sex nonstop all the time.
Sonic Mindscape has joined the chat. What's up, sir? How are you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Just going in on this Bonnie Blue, Andrew Tate podcast here. I never thought that this podcast would ever happen, but it seems that Andrew Tate has really made some concessions in terms of just the way that Bonnie Blue, what she represents, and how he's not really against it. He's kind of like he's like, look, he's not really one hating on it. He's like, look, she let her get the money, and as far as guys that are queuing up for her, he's like, look, men are going to take what they want to get, and it's just for some reason, it's just, for me, I can't connect with like what he is now. Like, he's just, before he would have been like, you guys are better than this. Do not give in to temptation, whatever. Just focus on, building yourself up, being successful, don't settle for less. Don't settle for, this buffet that everybody's going for and stuff. You're just going to possibly catch a disease. You're possibly, get somebody pregnant, whatever. And the worst thing would be catching a disease, fucking Bonnie Blue. Let's just be absolutely real about that. And it's just, nah, man, it's just, you definitely don't want to go down that path. Cabo says, I just noticed that these are most of Myron's talking points. Well, Myron, he likes to parrot Andrew Tate. So I would say that they kind of borrow from each other. But yeah, a lot of this in terms of like the way that, men should select for the best women to have children and stuff like that. What he's saying is like, okay, I understand that first part, but what you're not leading with the second part is the woman herself. Okay, so the woman is having your children. Do you think she's going to stay with you if you're sleeping with other women and stuff like that? It's like, it's not, it doesn't seem possible. It's like, not every woman is going to just be with you because you're a powerful individual. She might actually want to have a normal life with a normal family and, be able to bring you around her family and stuff like that. But if you have multiple wives and all this stuff and you're not available or being around for your kids, then yeah, it's not going to be a successful relationship. So it's like, it all sounds good if you're a single guy and you're just like, this is all theory for you. But when you're actually like in an actual like relationship where you have kids and you're in and you're married and stuff like that, it's like, that's really hard to find a woman that is willing to share you with other women and stuff like that. And then also be okay with you not being around the children that you made with her. It doesn't compute.
How is having an Instagram page and being an influencer and doing TikTok dances with massive silicone tits and doing this, then fucking getting millions of views and unlimited money for fucking dancing around with a shit dance? It's not even good. Not sex work. How?
Sonic Mindscape came back. He's like, I think it's because Bonnie Blue owns it. Unlike most OnlyFans women who say they find it creepy that men stare when they have tight clothing on. I mean, it's kind of like a contradiction, those women, because, they go to the gym, they set up their camera, and they catch men staring at them, as content. And it's like, well, you kind of put yourself in that position, It's like, it's the same thing, what does Byron say? You walk around in a cop uniform, whatever, and people are like, hey, help me out or whatever. And like, look, I'm not a police officer, whatever. This is just my uniform, whatever. Same thing with a woman who wants to dress provocatively, whatever. It's like, hey, don't talk to me. It's like, well, you're dressed like a hooker, so it's like, it's like a woman will put herself in that position. She won't outwardly go out and, attract a man verbally, but she'll do it physically because they understand the game. They understand that, men will do the approaching, so women have to make themselves enticing. And but if you don't want to be bothered and you go to the gym or you go anywhere, just frump yourself up, wear like a turtleneck sweater and some sweatpants. Even then you'll probably still get approached. So I mean, there's no getting away from it, man.
How is that not sex work? How is Instagram not sex work?
You're uploading your best photos. You want people to find you attractive.
You're
using your
filtering.
appeal.
Instagram is a dating app. Women shouldn't be. If you're on to Instagram, you're looking for male attention. You're uploading your best pictures with filters. You got your fucking tits out in every photo. You're shaking your ass in every photo. All these fucking Instagram reels, all of TikTok, all of this shit. Look at any of the famous women. How is all of it not sex work? You're advertising sex, or you're making people want to fuck you for attention or money.
It's the same thing with Twitch too. Like, you know, before it was all about, you know, gaming and having an audience and stuff, and just having like that gamer environment. But then girls came in and they just started making it all about, you know, like, hey, look, I'm playing with my boobs out and stuff. And then they just kind of took it over, and it was just like, look, I don't have to play video games anymore. I can just hang out with, you know, on the bed or whatever, and you guys can just chat with me and stuff. And then it literally just became a cam site. So yeah, man,
it's all sex work. So we as a society say, yeah, an 18-year-old girl can get massive silicones and dance around on TikTok and get millions and millions of viewers, but she's an influencer. No, she is a sex object.
Yeah.
That's all she is.
They're the ones that walk down the street. That's what pisses me off. They walk down the street and then they cry that a guy's wolf whistled them.
You can't call a sex worker an influencer, because she's not influencing any woman to like, I mean, maybe she is influencing women to like, oh, you know, she's getting to the bag, I want to do that too. But she's not, it's not like the type of influencer where it's like, you know, in a positive way. I guess, you know, you can call it a negative influencer, or a person who's just, you know, I don't know if you can call those people role models, you know. It's like, yeah, they're trading a relationship for money and independence, you know, but nobody's going to want them down the line because they're for the world. You know, it's like once you show your body online, or you like you mess around with someone online or whatever, and it's just for the public, it's like you just kind of X yourself out of any type of future prospect. And honestly, I think women are really weighing up their options with that. They're like, do I want to be with someone, or do I just want to have massive amounts of money and live in comfort and security? And right now it seems like they're choosing the latter.
They crying that a guy's looked at their tits, that your tits are hanging out. I actually don't wear revealing clothing as such. I stay covered up. I don't feel like the need to show my tits. People can just see it, you know, in person for free when I want to get naked. But I don't walk around looking like a slut like most of these other people do. Yeah, I am a slut. But they walk around crying about the fact people call them sluts. And it's like, look at you.
Same in the gym.
Look in the mirror.
Same in the gym. They wear those tight gym clothes and complain that people are looking at them.
They're videoing themselves bending over going, oh my God, look at that guy.
So it's anti-sex work. So they do sex work and then complain they're being seen as sexual objects.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, Rob? You know what I'm saying is true. I understand.
Cabos asks, will we ever have another debate between you and Sonic? I think it's funny when you critique his videos. Hey, Sonic, since you're here, man, did you see that last live stream where I was talking about your views on YouTube ads? I thought that was, I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you're because I know you're busy cranking out videos and stuff, so maybe you didn't catch it, but I was wondering if you saw that. Let me know what you think. And if you'd like to maybe possibly come on stream and, you know, we could have a little debate about it. Cause I still staunchly disagree with you in terms of, your whole approach with YouTube ads and surveys. I was like, I could not get behind it. I mean, it's fine, you know, between, I guess if that's how you want to do it, you know, but I was like, dude, like even your points of like, the reason you like YouTube ads is because you get to learn about stuff and you get to learn about like products and services and stuff like that. I was just like, I don't know, man. I think if there's a product and service I need, I just search it out. I don't have to like have like endless advertisements, you know, sent to me in terms for me to learn something. I don't know. Let me know what you think, Sonic, if you're there, if you'd like to maybe possibly do a debate about it. Sonic came back. He says, yeah, I did see. Actually, you're in the queue for the moment, meaning making a video on your critique. Yes, finally. Finally, man. No, you know, I can't wait, man. I know you're cranking out videos, and I'm watching a lot of what you put out, and you're putting it out at such a quick rate. I don't even have time to like really engage with it all. I'm enjoying the new style of what you're doing. Just keep up what you're doing, man. I like it. I like it. And you know, I'm actually doing a lot of I guess you could say you've inspired me maybe to like change up my style, because now I'm doing edited content. I have a video I've been working on. Dude, I have lost sleep over this edited video that I'm working on, and I promised you guys it's going to come out tomorrow, Sunday night. Not Sunday night, I'm sorry, Sunday afternoon. I'm going to shoot for like 1 o'clock in the 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully I get everything done. I got the majority of it done today. And yeah, you guys just look forward to that. So, but yeah, let's, dude, hey, my door is always open, Sonic, if you'd like to come on and debate. Cause, no, I enjoy it, man. I really do. We got to have another one of those, bro. That's good.
Then you don't want to go to jail, so you have to be careful how you reply. I understand, sir.
I'm just doing my job here.
You're just a commentator.
Andrew, if you go to jail, I'll identify as a guy, so we can go in together.
All right, thank you.
Top and tail.
Sonic came back. He says, your video was supposed to come out 2 days ago, but the Ethan stuff came out, so I had to prioritize that. And after the Hassan video, your video is coming out. It should come out on Monday or Tuesday. Well, I mean, I look forward to it, bro. I'm off Tuesday, so if it comes out, I will give it my full attention. And yeah, I mean, I'm really I'm trying to stay focused on this whole creativity spark that I'm on right now, in terms of like making edited videos, because now it just kind of like opened up a whole door of like creativity of things that I like. Okay, now I can talk about this because now I have the format to do it. Before, I was just doing this live stream stuff where, I'm connecting with you guys, seeing you guys once a week, just kind of hanging out. I want to do more of this too. I want to keep this up, and I want to really just have like a Discord call with all of us just hanging out and talking and stuff, because I know that video can come very soon, and we just need to get in the habit of all, being available and coming together on a Discord call, because I think that would be cool too. So, and we can just talk about the week or whatever, and I can finally figure out how to play videos for all of us, and then we can just pause it whenever we need to. We can go through it, because yeah, man, I think that would be a good time hanging out. It would be a real get together, a real like chill session. So yeah. But yeah, we should definitely debate. This is what Sonic says. We should definitely debate. What topic would you like to debate? Let's debate 2 weeks from now, so I can have some time to prepare. Well, in terms of what I was saying last stream, I was like, look, we could debate about YouTube ads, like the pros and cons, whatever, of YouTube ads. And also we could debate about tipping McDonald's employees. We could debate about anything really. I can't remember the other one. There was another one. If you guys remember what I said last video in terms of what we could debate about, I would totally be down to talk about whatever, man. If you have any topics that you want to debate about or whatever, I can prepare it as well. So it doesn't always have to be me deciding everything. You can throw a couple ideas out, and I can let you know whether I'm versed in it or not. But no, I mean, I think a debate is what the people want, and it can be a friendly debate. It can get contentious, but at the same time, man, it's all entertainment at the end of the day, man. And I think it would be a good time, Sonic.
You can be in me if you want. I just thought, we'll keep that bit of secret.
Bonnie, we're friends. You're my only female friend.
Friends with benefits.
No benefits. I've never had a female friend in my life.
Wow, I never thought that I ever would hear Andrew Tate publicly want a female friend. That's crazy, because he like speak like against female friends. This is a changed man. Prison has really changed Andrew Tate, and just in terms of how he parses out his words and just his whole mindset. Like, he used to just be a staunch, like, strict, no female friends, because women basically don't offer any value outside of like sex and relationships. yeah. So Son came back. He says, all right, that sounds cool. Whatever the audience wants to see, I'll be down for sure. All right, man. Sounds good, brother. Yeah, because I know Taking Souls for Free, he definitely was asking for another debate because he said they're very entertaining, and yeah, he just loves the back and forth. And to be completely honest, man, he doesn't agree with you. Oh, that was the other topic. It was fresh. I think he's like, you guys could debate on fresh or whatever, because he knows you like fresh, and he knows that I don't like fresh. I think that was the third topic, but whatever, we'll figure it out. Give it like 2 weeks, man. We can figure something out, dude. Sounds good.
I don't have any female friends. I don't have a single female friend because I don't really talk to women unless
I just don't really like women.
They don't really have much I want to hear to say. So
when women talk a lot of the time, I'm there just smiling, thinking, you're so irrelevant in the nice way possible. The things you're saying, they aren't funny. Like, I think I am funny, but like when they speak, I'm like, you're really not funny. I'm having to laugh at this joke to be polite. I'm having to pretend you're interesting out of politeness. I'll have to pretend your stresses at work are relevant, but they're not. You just work for someone else that works for someone else. Like when I listen to other women talk, I'm like, you're boring me. It's not entertaining, and I can't listen to your issues because they're not issues. They're just, I don't know, just pathetic excuses.
So Rob, let me ask you a question, sir. We have to make a decision. We are headed down the road we are traveling. Do we do an absolute 180 reversal of society and go back to traditional men in charge, patriarchal society where women have to obey their fathers, then obey their future husbands, where they have to get married young, have children? Or do we continue down the path where every single woman decides to make as much money as possible using her sexuality like Bonnie does? These are the two options. They're the only options that exist. There is no in between. There is no smart answer. There is no Aikido. There is A or B, Rob. Do you want to remove the female vote, or do you want your daughters and every other woman you know to end up like Bonnie Blue? Which one?
Well, here's the problem, okay, with the worst option, which would be everybody being like Bonnie Blue, chasing the bag and stuff like that. We know that as far as women's behavior, they only want men that are doing equal or better than them. So if a woman is getting $500K a year or $1 million a year, whatever like that, her options for men are going to decrease in terms of like what she's going to be looking for. So she's not going to be able to find a man that's going to measure up. So her options are literally not going to be there. Plus the whole, I guess, what is it? The psychology that's going to kind of take over for her, since she is giving herself to so many men. She's not going to be able to commit to any man anyway. So relationships are out the window if every woman chases the bag like Bonnie Blue. So, and honestly, I think there is too much of a percentage of women that want to chase the bag, that want to have that security for themselves, rather than finding it in a suitable partner. So unfortunately, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, man. It's you're going to have to find a woman that comes from a good family, that isn't hypnotized by Instagram and TikTok and all this stuff. They are out there. That's what you'll have to do. You'll just have to find those women and hopefully lock them down before they try to become independent, bag chasing, give themselves to the world type women. There are women that are traditional like that. You just have to find them. You have to vet for them. So don't give up hope. It doesn't have to be this black and white thing. I think both things can happen. Both things can coexist, because modern women are not going away as much as, because there are a lot of single families that are forming out of these type of mindsets, and women that are going for the artificial insemination. They don't need a man, they're just going to have, the baby inserted in them. That way they can have their child, they can have their legacy, and they can raise that child by themselves because they make all this money from OnlyFans or whatever they're on. And they can provide a life for this. And then they're just going to download all of their mindset onto this person, onto this little child, and hopefully that child can perpetuate the same thing. So there's always going to be that type of mindset. Of course, going back to things being traditional would be great, but it's impossibility at this point in time. That's my thoughts on this little dichotomy that Andrew Tate has proposed.
Well, I think both roads end
No,
the same
don't
way.
try and Aikido it, Rob.
But both end the same way.
Which is what?
Both end up back with patriarchy running society. When, what is it? Weak men
create hard times, and hard times create strong men, and strong men create good times, and good times create weak men.
And that is the cycle.
Absolutely.
And yeah, society is weak right now. And if you don't have strong leadership, you have government that starts to lead. And when government starts to lead and becomes too bloated and takes from society, in the end, society rebel. Even people who voted hardcore Labour, and even people in Labour will turn on Labour soon enough.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
But
I think things are going to get far more interesting before that happens.
Well, revolution. That's the only way you reset.
Silver has crashed. It's back to its price.
All right, we can skip this silver ad. Sorry, Sonic. I know you're probably you're really looking forward to hearing about this men's presentation about silver, but I'm good.
An instinct, because if women have more power than men, and if you can't even have a family, and you can't even tell your own wife what to do, why are you going to try and have any vested interest in society? If you have a house and you're the king of that household, and your woman obeys you and your children obey you and you're the king of the house, you're not going to give up that street or that town or that city or that country easily, because that's your house, that's your kingdom. If you're going home and your woman doesn't listen to you and she doesn't suck your dick and you're paying all these taxes and your kids ignore you and they just watch YouTube and you're not the man of anything, why are you going to stand up and rebel on the street? You don't give a shit. You've lost all vested interest and protection. Your protective instinct has been neutered. You're a eunuch. That is why feminism is used. This is the point I'm making about certain groups of men using women as a conduit to destroy other groups of men. Women are not the gun. Women are the bullet. Men still hold the guns. Feminism is a bullet that a man has shot. This is what most people don't understand about all of these ideals. And what I'm saying is, the society we have built has encouraged women to be as promiscuous, as rebelling, as open, as sexual, and to get as much money as possible. And Bonnie has just played the game the best and won the game. The game is chess. She's a grandmaster at it. You can't complain about the grandmaster. You have to complain about the game of chess. So it's completely asinine for anybody to ever give Bonnie a hard time about anything she's doing ever. When in fact, she's just the best at the game that's currently being played, because 99% of women are trying to do the same thing as her, which is use their pussy to get some money.
And that doesn't bother you hearing that?
No, it's factual. It's the truth. So why could I be offended? If you're offended by something that's factual, then change it. If I was offended by calling a prostitute and slag, then I should change that. But how can I sit there and say I'm ever offended by anyone telling me what's the truth?
And Rob, and I want to make something clear. I really do try and ground myself in absolute logic in all ways. And that's why I'm extremely hard on myself. I've said to you in previous podcasts that what happened to me about jail and all this shit, it was me. I take absolute responsibility for everything that's ever happened to me. I'm not a person who blames anyone else. Considering women just want status and money, don't think I haven't thunk about the fact about the women who say they love me. I'm not dumb. I love you so much. I love you. I love you. Of course. I love that you're attractive. I love that you're attractive and you do as I say. And you love that I'm very famous and very rich and I give you a lifestyle. Now you say you'd love me if I didn't give you the lifestyle. But if I didn't give you the lifestyle, how would I even be me? How am I me with no money? How am I me with no status? How am I me with no power? Who am I then? I'm a different person. So I know you're with me because you get things, and I'm with you because I get things. It's transactional. All relationships are transactional. This podcast is a transaction. This is how things work. So I'm not stupid enough to believe the women who say they love me, even though they say they love me, and even though they mean it when they say it, they're not smart enough to analyze that they are doing a transaction because they don't think of it that way. They just feel love. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, you love me so much. We're just cruising in the Lambo and we're just in, oh, you just all of a sudden you say you love me. They don't even realize what they're doing. I do.
But you got to understand that Andrew Tate goes after women that are much younger, so 18 to 24 or whatever. So yeah, of course you're gonna get the girls that just want to have fun, they just want to go and party and stuff like that. Whereas if he was to possibly get with a woman that was maybe closer to his age, yeah, they probably wouldn't put up with the type of lifestyle that he is doing. So yeah, it's like you create the type of lifestyle you are by the type of woman that you attract and all this stuff. And unfortunately for Andrew Tate, he's not going to be able to have this sustainability in term, or I guess he's not going to be able to have the influence to really pass on to anybody to really follow or focus on, because it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable because of the amount of, it's not even like real tangible influence that you could project onto somebody else. Like everybody has to go out and work themselves and build themselves up and have the type of status in the world, and no two people are the same. So no, you can't really take the advice that he has and apply it to your life and think that you can have the exact same life. You can't. It's not possible. And also the people that are outside of you would have to find people that are willing to go along with that, which, it's like, do you want to be around young, shallow people that only want to be with you for money? Or do you want to be with someone who will take care of you when you get sick, or remind you to take your medicine or whatever, or, I don't know, help you out of the shower or something like that when you get old or whatever like that. It's like, no, it's like when you have these young girls, whatever, they only want to be around for the good times. And then, it's like you're gonna kind of be alone after a while, because those girls are gonna, like, you're gonna either phase them out or they're gonna phase you out. So it's a never ending cycle, man. And in terms of sustainability. So that's pretty much what I'll say to that.
I understand the world very well.
But isn't love a human need?
Love is a transaction.
It's a human need.
Women love who protect and provide for them, whether they're the French soldier or the German soldier, sir. Women love when they get what they want. That's it.
You need
So there's no loyalty. Loyalty doesn't exist.
Loyalty, what I'm trying to say here, and any man who's been to divorce or had problems with women will agree with me and understand exactly what I'm saying. Women are loyal to how they feel. If you make them feel a certain way, then they're loyal to that feeling, which is loyal to you. Women aren't loyal to anything outside of how they feel. Men actually are more loyal than women, because men, like I said, can suffer gracefully. Women can't. Men will be loyal to a society. Men will be loyal to a race. Men will be loyal to their friends. Women can't even get along for 5 minutes amongst themselves. Men will be best friends for 50 years. Men are loyal. We know loyalty completely. We'll go die in a ditch for a flag. You want to talk about loyalty? Men are loyal. Women aren't loyal. Women are, how do I feel today? You could take a woman on a private jet to a mansion in Miami and have the best time. She'll tell you how much she loves you. And then the next day when she's mad at you, she will literally say verbatim, you never give me anything. You don't take care of me. You reject me. I'm not looked after. She'll forget 12 hours before where she had the world. Because women only care about how they feel. They don't even think, they just feel. And what they feel is absolute gospel truth, and it matters more than society, matters more than everything else. Why are the white women of Britain not waking up saying, our population's being replaced, our grandfathers died for this island, we need to have as many white children as possible before this becomes a caliphate? Why don't we protect the race of British people who only have this land, and when this land is gone, there's nowhere else to go? We need to find white husbands and have Christian children now. Why? Because they don't feel like it. They don't give a shit about World War II. They don't give a shit their grandfathers died. They don't give a fuck about England. They don't give a fuck about anything, because they only care about how they feel. Whereas a man might sit and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to suffer for the greater good of my race, my nation, my ideals. So men are loyal, but women aren't.
What do you think about that, Bonnie?
I think it really depends. Like, for example, if I was in a relationship, I believe he'd be loyal and I'd be loyal. But like I said,
But you're getting divorced, aren't you?
Yeah, because for a whole separate reason. Me and my ex, we grew apart, was together from the age of 14. You change a lot in that time. And most women just stay in that relationship because it's comfortable. It's easy. It'd been easier if I stay with my partner. It saves the work. It saves the, to a heartache to a certain extent. It saves the having to split your finances. It's easy and lazy of me if I just stayed in that. And most people in relationships, they stay with that person because it's easy and they're in a comfortable situation. Most people don't go, I want to focus on my happiness and leave that relationship. But I do. I focus on myself. I'm happy to admit I am selfish a lot of the time. And for me, staying in that relationship didn't mean happiness. So I left that. Most women would have stayed.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. There's the reason why you can't stay in a relationship is because you're selfish. The whole thing about being in a successful relationship is being considerate of the other person. And if you're a selfish person, then yeah, you deserve to be alone.
Stayed in that.
So are men loyal and women not loyal? Do you agree with what Andrew said there?
I was loyal to my partner to a certain degree.
But loyal, when I'm saying loyal, everyone's confusing that with sexually exclusive. See, I'm loyal to my women, but I'm not sexually exclusive to my women.
Yeah.
And a weak man will confuse the two and go, no, loyalty is sexual exclusivity because he's a little bitch. That's nothing to do with loyalty.
I think it depends on your agreement and communication with that person.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit about willpower as well. It sounds like you have very weak willpower, and you understand that if a woman, a good woman who is willing to take care of you, take care of your children, and, you know, raise your family in the right way, Christian values, Catholic, whatever religion and stuff like that, if that's what, you know, she strongly believes, and you violate her trust, then yeah, I mean, that relationship's going to fall apart. The children are going to grow up without a father. And it's like you've destroyed that family just because of your willpower, because you couldn't hold it together. I think that says a lot about a person who is not guided by, you know, their desires and stuff like that, you know, or just I mean, when you think about it, if you've had a lot of relationships and lots of sex and all that stuff like that, it's not something that you go chasing after. It's like a person who has a lot of food in their life, you know, it's like a person who can eat whenever they want, you know, they can go wherever they want to eat. They don't have to worry about cooking and stuff like that. It's not like a stress for them for food. Okay. If someone, the same thing with like being in a happy, successful relationship. If you guys, it's like you don't have to go looking for someone to make you happy if you're already happy, you know. But I think it comes back down to willpower, man. I think if you don't have any willpower and you just give in to every desire and stuff, it's like you're almost kind of like a kid. It's like you're not mature, and you want to be a kid forever. But you know, you got to grow up sometime, you know, especially if you have children involved and you have a family. It's like, I don't know, man. That's like one of the main thing that the Andrew Tate, the whole red pill and stuff, they try to like push on young men. It's like, no, loyalty does not mean sexually exclusivity, but you have to understand what comes with that mindset is that you will never be able to have a solid foundation for any type of family or legacy that you're going to begin, because you will always restart back to zero, because no woman will put up with that. It's just the reality. You can't make women want to, you know, follow that program either.
Person. Some people have swingers. Some people have open relationships, so that yes, they're having sex with the people, but that's in their agreement. Everything's down to communication, and women aren't open to communicating a lot of the time.
All right, Rob. So which woman do you have more respect for? A woman like,
Here we go, A or B.
Yeah,
because that's how the
no,
the
but
world
life
works.
is A and B's. Life is actually A and B's.
Andrew,
no, I'm asking you.
I'll play the game.
Okay,
Let's go.
perfect. A woman like Bonnie, who's very honest and very open and uses her promiscuity to financially gain, or a woman who pretends she loves a man for money who she doesn't really love and intends on divorce raping, because there's 1,000 times more of them than there are Bonnie Blues. And those are the actual problem. A woman who will falsely accuse a man of rape or falsely accuse a man of hitting her in a divorce court to try and get as much money as possible off a man she barely even loved in the first place and she was only with him for money. Or a woman like Bonnie who's honest. Who do you respect more?
Yeah, but there's a lot that comes with Bonnie Blue's honesty, okay? She has people queuing up for her. So, I mean, yeah, she's honest about that too. And I think it's just she's reached certain levels of promiscuity that is beyond the normal average person. So it's like, I don't know. It's like it can't be an A or B. There has to be another option. Honestly.
I respect someone who's more honest about their
Absolutely.
femininity and
Absolutely.
sexuality.
So these women who are just with me and telling me they love me because they want my money, and the women who accuse me of rape when they don't get it, and all of my current girlfriends who say, I love you so much, but they run their mouth to me the second they don't like something and they get upset about something and they show they don't actually respect me. They just want a lifestyle. Do you think I respect them more than I respect a woman like Bonnie who's honest?
Do you think maybe you're just attracting that kind of woman because?
Well, because I'm super successful and super rich, probably.
But that's what women chase.
But that's what women chase, and that's what the most.
Do all women chase that?
Well, Rob.
A lot. The people that are broke sit and complain the fact they're broke. So just because they don't have it, they want it.
Rob, let's reverse this. You're saying I attract a certain type of woman who loves money, right?
I think we all attract a certain type of person based on who we are.
Okay. Well, you nailed it. So based on who you are, depends on what you chase in the world. Wouldn't the most attractive women on the planet want money? Let me ask you, this is a thought experiment. If you're a beautiful woman and you know you're beautiful, you're in the top tier of beauty on the planet. You're the top 0.1% of women on the planet in terms of pure looks. Are you going to use that to make money, or are you going to go with a brokey? You're going to use that to make money because you have a...
You don't have to go with a brokey, though. You know, it's like... And you don't have to do sex work if you're in the top tier of women. You could have self-respect. You could, and you know what? A woman who is chaste, that doesn't, give herself to the world like that, she has 100 times more value than a woman who is like a 8 or 9 physically or whatever, but she gives herself to the world. It's just like she devalues herself when she does that. So, yeah, I don't know. This is another point I don't agree with him. It's like, if a woman is 8, 9, or 10 or whatever, and she doesn't do OnlyFans, it doesn't mean that she is going to go live with a brokey. It means that she has self-respect, man. I mean, that's valuable too, man.
USP.
Well, society proves it, I think.
Absolutely. So if I want the most beautiful women on the planet, those women want money. So here we are.
So you just get...
Sonic came back. He says, "Well, but I think when Andrew says brokey, he's talking about average general men." Yeah, I mean, obviously he's talking about the 80% of men that basically are living, that are working, jobs and stuff, and they're just struggling, whereas you do have the top 10%, 10%, maybe even 20% of men who, live comfortably, but they don't have, they have, endless options in terms of, sexual relationships, whatever. But in terms of like solid families and stuff, like, yeah, it's like they don't want to settle down because they have too many options, So it's not a thing for anybody. Like I have no problem with someone who has lots of money, has lots of options, and doesn't have a family. Like I don't have a problem with that. Maybe that's not something they want or whatever. But I can only speak for myself and what I want, and what works for me. And for me, having a family, having people that depend on me, and having a person who is there for me, it's like, that's all you really need, man. That's the motivation in the world, to get up and work every day. And that gives my life purpose. And I feel great about that. But I guess there's other people like Andrew that has to have multiple women and, not tied down to anybody and all that stuff, and have 100 kids, whatever. But it's like, I don't know, man. I don't see why it would make sense to spread yourself thin like that. You can't give yourself and be there for your children, because your children, they need you. They need that strong male figure in their life. But when you're like just this jet setting person, well, I mean, I'm not saying Andrew Tate is a jet setting person, because, he is having to stay put now that he is, facing these charges. But before, he was going all around, and, yeah, maybe he had the relationship with the kids where, he was seeing the kids and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I think children definitely need their fathers in their lives, and we play a huge role in terms of keeping order in the house and keeping people balanced. And I don't think that's possible to do when you're all over the place, starting a bunch of relationships with a bunch of women, So And even Andrew Tate said it. He's like, having endless amounts of sex or whatever, it's kind of gay. That was his words. But in a way, it's like it is kind of like an endless thing that it will end up being meaningless. It's like, yeah, you can have as much ice cream or as much food or whatever as you want, but it's never going to fill you up because you're always going to want more.
Get rich to attract beautiful women. Is that
No, that's not why I got rich. I got rich because I wanted to be powerful. I actually didn't want money. I wanted power. Turns out everyone realizes once they have money that they never want money in the first place. They wanted power. You know this. Elon himself knows this. Imagine being Elon, the richest man on the planet. You still got some Jezebel fucking Ashley running her mouth about you and taking you to court. That's the matriarchy we live in. You can be the richest man on the fucking planet. Some silly woman can still lie about you and drag you to court. Isn't that incredible? Think about that. That would never happen in ancient times. You're a king. You're the richest man on the face of the earth. And some random chick gets to drag you to court and put you in front of a judge. Incredible. Look at me. Trying to take down my empire with these women just lying. This is the world we live in. We live in a matriarchy. No man is safe. The point I'm making is, if you're a man who wants the most attractive women on the planet, and you want true beauty, the women you find will instinctually want money. Because they're beautiful. Beautiful women, that's what they want. They want to get something for their beauty. Because they understand how unique they are. Don't we all? If you understand your unique set of skills, you want a high-paying wage at a job. If you know you're the only person who can do this job, you want to be paid well for it, don't you? This is human nature. My point is this.
So love is transactional.
Of course love's transactional. My point is, for the people complaining about Bonnie Blue, they need to shut the fuck up and complain about all the women out here pretending they love men and dragging them through divorce courts and taking half their fucking stuff.
See, with me,
Bonnie's never taken half of a man's stuff.
No.
You've never taken half of a man's anything. You've taken some OnlyFans subscriptions. She ain't taking half of a man's house.
Well, wait a minute here. How much your top subscribers pay you? I mean,
yeah, but that's voluntary. It wasn't taken. It was given.
They've chosen to. That's like if.
How much? What's the biggest amount of subscriber pays?
We're talking like hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
Of course.
An individual man pays.
Yeah.
Just to see your content online.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's given. It's not taken. She didn't drag him in front of a judge.
Not holding him at gunpoint.
What do you think about men spending hundreds of thousands of pounds?
I used to have a webcam studio. That's normal.
Yeah, he used to get those hundreds of thousands of dollars out of men. So I mean, that was how he came up. So he shouldn't have a problem with that.
She didn't take a man in front of a judge and forcibly take his stuff. I think what Bonnie's doing is far less destructive or heinous than a woman dragging a full-grown man in front of a judge and making him liquidate half of his empire that he worked for his entire life so she can take that money and go fuck another man with it. I think every single divorce currently going through the courts today is more heinous and more aggravating than anything Bonnie's done.
Well, if someone got with me, I'd be like, Andrew, I've got tight holes, good blowjob skills, and I'm not going to cry rape the next day.
How could you be tight with that? I don't want to just state the obvious, but how could you be tight with that amount of men?
Well, that'd be your opinion, Rob.
I'm just a question. My opinion doesn't mean anything in this situation.
I can prove it, though. Do you want to prove it? We'll see who's tighty, wife or me.
Oh, dude, don't do it. Don't do it, man. It's a trap, man. Black Widow spider, man. Don't do it. Because that's the worst thing. You're done. You're like, look, I told you so. I told you so. That's the worst thing. I knew I was right. Oh, man.
Next question, huh?
Andrew, what's your biggest failure or regret?
I don't operate from a realm of failure. I don't think I've really failed it very much. I think I've done pretty good in this simulation, considering the primary objectives of life.
Would you not class though going to prison?
I don't consider that a failure, no.
But isn't success a series of small failures or big failures in order to be successful?
Yeah, but I mean, what's the primary objectives of the masculine world? The primary objectives are to have an empire, which you can't say I don't have financially and socially. Was a cultural force. To have progeny, which I have. To be strong and to be well-known and renowned, which I have. I dedicated my 20s to fighting in the ring. No one can say I'm not brave. I dedicated my life to combat, and I have a whole bunch of children and a whole bunch of money. It doesn't matter if I go to prison for the rest of my life. I've lived more life than most men ever will.
Yeah.
And I think I've done pretty good in this version of the reality, considering I'm from a Luton council estate.
Any regrets?
Fuck all. I don't operate from the realm of regret. And I don't regret going to jail, and I don't regret anything bad that's ever happened to me, and I never will. If bad things happen to me in the future, I won't regret them either. I just don't operate from that frame. I really do consider myself far more a commentator on life than a liver of life. I am a vessel, but I'll observe everything from above. And what happens to me, this is just the body, the conduit that God was fortunate enough to give me to observe life through. I'm glad he made it tall and strong and sexy and brown. That's great.
Cook Benny says, it started off. Wait, it looks like it started off with Bonnie and the guy in the middle against Andrew, and now it's Andrew and Bonnie against the guy in the middle. Well, I think it's funny that Bonnie Blue has this like idea about herself that she has tight holes and she gives good blowjobs, and like what the guy said in the middle, like how can you even say that after all the men you've been through or whatever? And she's just like, oh, I can prove it. And it's just like, come on, man, that's wild, dude. Like it's there's no way, man. There's no way. I mean, yeah, Kegel exercises and all that stuff like that, but no, there's no way, man. It's like a hot dog down a freaking hallway. It's gotta be.
But I'm quite externalized about things. And if I go to jail, I'll enjoy the experience of jail. And
Are you hard on yourself?
you have to be. Otherwise, you can't win.
You're hard right now. I mean, I heard they call you Cobra Tate. Are you packing a python?
Bonnie, you know,
What the fuck, dude? Sheesh.
Bonnie, you're not an ugly woman. You're attractive. But because I'm jaded through my, long and industrious career, the only thing I find interesting really about women nowadays is kind of similar to something you said earlier.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to take the souls of the virgin men.
God,
I
you're getting me
kind of like to get a
excited.
woman's heart more than I like to get her pussy. I kind of like her to be obsessed with me. And that's easier to do when you're one of her first men.
I mean, as soon as she sees you watching your money, you're all right. You've got a heart.
Yeah, but no, that she's obsessed with my bank. I want her to be obsessed with me for real. I try and find women who love me, which is very difficult.
For who you are and not your money and transactions.
No, it starts with the money and transactions, and it kind of stays that. But I like to have women who feel like they can't live without me, because if a woman feels like she can live without me, I lose all attraction to her. I don't know why. So it's nothing personal. I'm sure your technique is fantastic, and you're very attractive.
Thanks.
But
Do you think that makes you a narcissist then?
Oh, I think every single person on the planet is a narcissist.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking ridiculous when we sit here and say, oh, he's a narcissist, but I'm not. Of course, that's the dumbest shit. Every single person on the planet.
When you look at the definition of it, everyone is to a certain
narcissist.
extent. As long as you want to be successful and you believe in what you believe in and you feel empowered by it,
of course,
suddenly you're a narcissist.
Everybody's a narcissist. Everybody's out for themselves. Everything is transactional. And the goal of all transactions is to get the better end of the deal. And I have no problem with a girl spending my money if I feel like I'm getting the better end of the deal.
Yeah.
And if she gives me like children, for example, that's one of the ways she can give me the better end of the deal. If she dedicates her life to me and she's sexually exclusive to me and she doesn't go out clubbing or partying and doesn't do anything without telling me and she gives me her life and her loyalty, I feel like that's worth some money. That's a transaction, but it is a transaction. It's absolutely what it is. I'm not interested in having sex with women just for the sake of sex. This might be controversial, don't find sex
God
that...
forbid you're controversial.
I know. I don't find sex that entertaining. I really don't enjoy it that much, to be
Maybe you need
honest.
to switch your girls
Sex
up.
is supposed to be entertaining.
No, I really, I'll be halfway through fucking a bitch and I'm just like, you know what? I got better shit to do. I can go.
Well, I thought you need to impregnate her.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason I'm doing it. Because I really don't find sex that
How long
great.
are you lasting in the bedroom?
Long enough, my dear. I don't really find sex that entertaining. I don't enjoy sex that much. I don't really care, really. I'm not that sexual a person. And I think that's because I could have it as much as I wanted, maybe. I don't know. I mean, most men are so busy trying.
Sonic came back. He says, Camp Hustlers, I'll be back later. If you guys are still alive, I'm going to finish up the video. I'll be back. All right, man. We'll see you in a little bit, Sonic. Take care of yourself, sir.
To chase it all the time, that is entertaining to them. But because I can fuck basically any girl on the planet, all of a sudden I really just don't really want to. I have
Would
other
you
shit
lick a
to
girl
do.
out, or is that gay in your eyes because you're not doing that to breed her?
I think perhaps if a man licks a girl out, foreplay, I wouldn't say it's completely gay, no. But
Just
I
getting her
mean,
ready for
if
your
you just
python.
licked a girl out and then didn't fuck her, I guess that would be kind of weird. And that's how I see sex with a condom or sex with a birth control. I see it as that. If you imagine you just licked a girl out and then stopped, I think it'd be kind of fucking weird. I don't know, but who gives a shit what I think, right? I'm just a guy. But my
You're just a guy
primary,
with a lot of
well,
court
my
cases.
primary objective is to die with children.
Yeah.
My primary objective is children. Like perhaps it's because if you have an empty life, if you're a man and you're at home all day and you're got a basic 9-to-5 job and you don't have much going on in your life, perhaps sex is a lot more entertaining to you because you have all these beautiful women you see on Instagram that you can't fuck and you have nothing else you can do. But me, I can fuck any of these girls on Instagram and I don't really want to because I can drive any car in the world and I can go anywhere in the world and I have private jets and I have court cases to fight and I have an empire.
Exo Charles says, see, bro. Cook Bay says he's gonna watch more ads. Damn. He's just like, yeah, man, this is too much content, man. I need a break. I need a break, man. I need some advertisement. Oh man, it's like I need somebody to sell me something, and I'm like, all right, Sonic, go ahead, man.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Do podcast. I can do so many amazing things that sex is just further down the rankings than
Like
other
for
stuff I
me.
can do each day. If I wake up each day, I don't go, I want to fuck. I wake up and go, you know what? By the time I do this and this and this and this and this and this and this, I've had a great day. Maybe it's just because my life's so fantastic.
Yeah.
And the fact that all these women these men are chasing I could have makes them less appealing. But most of these men get no pussy, so of course they're obsessed with pussy. Starving men are obsessed with food.
Hey, that's literally the same thing I said. You know, it's like if you don't have food, all that matters to you is like trying to find something to eat. If you're same with, drinking water, same with, women, it's like if you don't have a woman in your life, it's like that's all you think about. Until you don't think about it. Because I think the longer you go without a woman, I think your brain, there's like a switch that happens where you're just like, at a point, you just start repelling women. You're like, oh, I don't need women. You get into this little like Myron flow state, and it's like, yeah, it stays stuck. But yeah.
And if you have a buffet, you eat a bit and you're kind of bored of it. If you have a buffet in your house,
dude, I swear I didn't watch this. I didn't watch this, but this is literally the point I made earlier is like, if all you do is like, if you have access to food and stuff like that, you don't worry about food. You don't worry about anything, because this is like, you got everything you need. But people that are struggling, people that don't have jobs and people that don't make enough money and whatever, yeah, every little bit of food that they get, man, it's like they're freaking fiending for it, man. Same thing with women. It's like, yeah, you got those people that just they haven't had a girlfriend or they haven't dated anybody in a while, and they're just like socially awkward, and they don't know how to talk to women and stuff. And it's crazy, man, how watching people come up, like with their confidence level. And I said this before, I was like, dude, it's like if you go out with a pretty girl that you're interested in and stuff, as long as you're just like straight up, you don't have to like, it doesn't have to be, if you take off the table that this is going to be something, you can actually relax. You can just enjoy the moment. You can be present in the moment, and you can actually just have a good time, and you notice that the conversation will flow a lot easier, rather than you would be like pressuring yourself like, oh, I hope this goes well. I hope like we end up back at, my place, or I hope like, she ends up liking me, or we end up like doing something later, whatever. It's like you put all this pressure that builds up in the back of your head. Whereas if you just don't even think about that, don't even like have that as an option, man, it's like things are so much easier. And the conversation just flows so much easier because it's like you're not stressing about that. Cookman says, I can see Camp's cliff notes on this video in the background. My cliff notes? I can see Camp's cliff notes in the video. Oh, is this right here? Hold on. The cliff notes, is that little book on the table? Is that what you're talking about? Oh man, let's get back to this.
He's not hungry.
Yeah. I think like the average guy in my queue is just someone that goes to work, they've got a wife, maybe a couple of kids, and like sex is the most interesting thing they've got in their life. So I completely
Of course, they have
agree.
nothing else interesting to do, but I have other very interesting things to do. But yeah, so I'm not an overly sexual person, I would argue. And I'm glad I'm not, because if I was overly sexual like Diddy, I'd be fucking toast by now. Imagine that 4 different federal agencies for 5 years of investigating me, and they managed to find fuck all. They couldn't find anything. They couldn't find any fucking orgies. They couldn't find anything. They're like, okay, we found a couple girlfriends, and he had sex with them, and then they had sex with him like 100 times, and they're saying one of the times he didn't buy him a handbag, so it's rape. Like, even their cases are shit. They can't even build a case on me. Thank fuck I'm not overly sexual, because if I was, I'd be in jail. Which, again, let's analyze this. This is truly hypocritical and insane that we live in a society which is overly sexualized. But then if you're a man who is overly sexualized, the second you do something they don't like, they use your over-sexuality against you. Look at Russell Brand. He was the poster boy of degeneracy. He was drug taking, running around all over TV, flirting with every single girl he met on television. Channel 4 were dragging girls up from the crowd to go flirt with him. He was seen as a playboy. It was funny. It was promoted. And now that he talks anti-vaccine, they're using it against him to try and put the guy in jail. So we're living in a society which is over-sexualizing everyone and then randomly picking and choosing the people they don't like who talk about something unrelated to sex.
It's not random.
Politics.
Is it really random?
Well, it's not random.
No.
They're choosing the people who talk about things unrelated to sex, usually politics, and using the sexuality against them. So they're making everybody guilty of a crime at the base level. Everybody is born guilty, the original sin, and then randomly jailing the people, not randomly, choosing and jailing the people who do other things they don't like. So it's completely unfair to Russell to promote a young man to take drugs and be sexual and then use it against him later. And it's completely unfair to convince women to go out and be sexual and make a bunch of money from it like Bonnie has and use it against her. What I'm saying is that society has put us here. We are exactly where we deserve to be. Bring the asteroid. The fuck? This is where we are now.
It seems like Andrew Tate has just like accepted the reality that he's just one man and maybe he doesn't have the influence to change men, to turn them away from temptation and make them be better men. He's just like, you know what? You can't save everybody. And you know what? I'm not going to save anybody. I'm just going to try to save myself.
This is where we are. And the only reason I'm not overly sexual, truthfully, is because I see it for what it is and I don't really want to partake too much. And it's literally saved my life. Or I'd be in fucking jail right now. And what would I have done wrong? Nothing. Is there anything wrong with fucking 4 or 5 women? No. If they all want to, what's wrong with it? Nothing.
Yeah, I think as long as everything...
I'll be honest. Is baby oil illegal? I mean, we talk about it all the time.
It was hard to buy for a while in the shops, though.
No, well, we talk about it all the time like it's evidence of crime. I'm not defending Diddy. I don't even fucking like him. I'm saying, he had baby oil. Okay, where's the crime? He fucked all these women. Where's the crime? Oh, he had another man fuck his girl. Where's the crime?
I think
Where's
as long
the
as things are
crime?
Consensual.
There's no crime. But people are so stupid. Look, he had a bunch of sex. Jail. That's not how it works. We're telling people to have a bunch of sex. We're encouraging people to have a bunch of sex. We're telling women to have a bunch of sex. We're telling men to fuck whoever they want and not have kids. This is what we're telling people to do. And then we're saying it's against the law when the person does something they don't like. It's a false dichotomy we live in. It saved my life that I didn't do it. Thank fuck. No blowjob that good. Jesus Christ. I'm glad I'm boring.
Until me.
Bonnie. I know you would never cry rape, but somehow I'd end up with a human trafficking charge for touching you. I don't know. They'd say, I forced you to do it. Nah, no.
People always say I belong in prison. Like when I see like TikToks, they're like, how is she not in jail? She's a predator. She's a groomer. And I'm like, everyone I fuck is 18. Everyone I fuck, they're consenting to it. And I'm like, how the fuck am I meant to get arrested for that? And if you're saying that's promoting rape culture, then how confusing is that for the younger generation? Because if they're thinking consensual sex is rape, how many more times are they going to cry rape when that was also consensual? Because if you're saying I'm a rapist and I prove all the time everything's consensual and above board, then how confusing is that for the younger people?
Well, you're not a rapist, 1. And 2, consensual sex now currently under the law is rape because a woman can remove consent post-action because she's unhappy with how the relationship turned out. So all consensual sex ends up being rape once the woman's upset.
Okay, I've got some really good advice for you. Next time you fuck a girl, make sure the Birkin is ready. No court cases.
Then there's going to be another Birkin and another Birkin. But no, you're right. This is the world we live in now. And it's very difficult and hard to be a man now. And that's why most men are actually just checking out and giving up on women by and large.
Maybe
you see a lot of men, do you think it's hard being a man?
Yeah, for sure. They get so much stick and women are so protected now. And I'm not saying that's for everything. Like there is loads of women crime, there is loads of women being murdered. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But men's mental health is fucked. And women do nothing to it to help it. And then women...
Exotra says, I think he somewhat wants to help young men, but his main priority will always be money. Absolutely, man. In terms of his self-interest, that hasn't changed. He has to maintain a lifestyle, so he has to continually make money. Same like any other business, you know, you have to continually make profits and stuff. So yeah, in any way of his influence, you know, as long as he continues to do these like podcast runs, he can continue with his influence. He can continue driving people towards his courses and all that stuff, and his Bitcoin and all that. But I think he is also kind of relinquishing the notion that he had before, that, you know, men need to straighten up and men need to, you know, turn away from the whores and the thoughts and stuff, and literally just, you know, focus on themselves and stuff. I don't think that message is alive in him anymore. I think he understands that there's just a large group of men that just can't be helped. And I think he's at peace with that now. Kava says, same with Myron. Once he got demonetized, his motivation to help men went down. Fuck yeah, bro. Because now he wasn't getting paid for it, dude. It's like, yeah, he's just like, dude, now I need to figure out, you know, a way to get remonetized or find another way to get paid, you know? I think Myron has always been self-interested in terms of, you know, making money and stuff, and multiple streams of income. And that's why he's, you know, on Kick now. That's why he's, you know, separating and, you know, doing more stuff separate from Fresh, whatever, so he can actually diversify and you know, make more money and everything. Because I mean, yeah, I mean, the same thing with Tate. You know, like he's to that point now where he's trying to just have like an empire where he has, you know, people that support him and his loyal fan base, whatever. And maybe eventually, yeah, he'll try to have like the power to basically to say fuck you. Like, look, man, you can't cancel me because I'm set. You know, like I have the money to fall back on whatever views and beliefs that I have. That there's nothing you can say to take away my platform because I own the platform. You know, I mean, I think that's eventually where Myron wants to be eventually.
Women are the ones that talk about everyone should be happy and positive. It's women that sit there on their couches with their 2 kids in a council house making TikToks and videos. Instead of thinking, right, I'm going to better myself. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go and get a job so I can help be independent. They don't care. They just do fuck all of their life. And men have to work so hard. So yeah, I want to pleasure them. Yes, I want to make them feel happy. Couldn't give a shit if their wife's having to go to bed crying because I've just fucked their husband.
What's your biggest failure or regret, Bonnie? And don't give me none of this. No failure, no regret.
No. Like, I guess just... I mean, I didn't fall into the system for too long. I only worked in a corporate job for 5 years. If I'd have stayed in that for 20 years, I'd be saying, fuck me, that was the mistake. I copied everyone else. But I guess it's just trusting people.
Kawa says, Camp, I wanted to ask you, Fresh and Fit get a lot of views on Rum Rolls, almost as much as they were getting as when they were monetized on YouTube. And they're still not getting paid as much. Well, that's because you get paid pennies at Rumble compared to YouTube. And also... I strongly have a sense that a lot of their views are botted as well. Like not just the Fresh and Fit channel, but the Fresh's channel as well, Myron's channel. I think it's all botted. So you, I don't think they're making as much money in terms of what they were making on YouTube. Not at all, because they don't have the same amount of sponsorship and also ad revenue per view. Like the percent per view is like pennies compared to YouTube. So that's why Myron has to have like other things in place in terms of like the Castle Club and the CEO network and whatever the courses and stuff they have. Because they were bringing in close to 6 figures when they were on YouTube, and they said that their expenses for the studio was something around it was something around the neighborhood of like, God, I can't remember. I can't remember exactly now. I think it was like 17,000 a month or whatever. Or no, I think it was like 70,000, something like that. Because with all of their employees that they had like 20 employees at that time, but I think they've significantly downsized since then. And yeah, I think Rumble doesn't pay them like that. And the Myron and Fresh will say that they have a deal with Rumble, which is completely separate from whatever their content pays them and everything. But they're very vague on that, which, you know, that's their right. They don't have to disclose that, but they wouldn't, because I think they were saying something. I know Myron said this actually. He said that they're going to start pivoting away from YouTube altogether and just start streaming on Rumble, and, you know, and he'll still do his like kick streams and stuff for his own separate thing. But yeah, they want to completely move away from YouTube completely, because they try to go back up for remonetization and they got denied again. So they're just like, yeah, we're done with YouTube. So, which I don't think that's a smart move. I think they should still stay on YouTube, do like the free shows and everything, because I still think that there's still an audience there on YouTube that does not want to convert over to Rumble or Kick or whatever, you know? So, Coke Penny says, remember when they had that phase where they thought they were going to take over Twitch? Yeah, dude, I remember. Yeah, and they were really hyping up those hype trains, and they're like, yeah, man, it's like Twitch doesn't have a controversial people that, you know, really bait controversy like we do, man. Talk about the hard subjects and everything. I'm like, yeah, well, there's a reason for that. Myron did join Kick. He joined Kick for I want to say his solo stream. So when he's doing like Myron Gaines X whatever, yeah, nothing with Fresh. It's his separate thing, from what I understand. Yeah, I mean, just try, because didn't he said this a while back? He's like, Kick is a degenerate platform. You know, they're Rumble all the way, but now he's gonna do. I believe his IRL streams are gonna be streamed on Kick, from what I understand.
Too soon, not understanding, I guess, just being naive that people a lot of the time have other intentions which you don't see at times.
And what one piece of advice would you give Andrew Tate?
Get the Birkins, drop the rape charges.
I think he does get the Birkins anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, my problem is very similar to yours, Bonnie. Is that I'm too well known, and once you get too well known, problems arise. There is limit.
Can you ever go back?
Kawa says, I think the show is going to end soon. You can tell Myron just doesn't care about, dude. It's been like that for a while, man. He's been going through the motions, and yeah, like if it was up to him, dude, he'd be kicking all the women out every night, and, you know, just fuck Fresh in your options, whatever, like that, dude. Like, get them all out of there. He just doesn't enjoy it anymore, you know. And I know that's like Fresh's like bread and butter. That is like his thing, you know. Like, he'd rather be around a bunch of women than, you know, just trying to help men and whatever. But yeah, I mean, this is just, you know, you see Myron in his element. He likes to debate. He likes to, you know, go on other podcasts and other shows and stuff and actually talk about what's going on in the world and everything. And I mean, you can't really fault him for that. That's the direction that he wants to go. And I think the dating thing, the whatever, like, I think he's just like, at first he was like, yeah, you know, he has experience in it, whatever, like that. He's like, he thinks he could speak to it in terms like of a fitness, attractive level, whatever. Sure. You know, but now he's just like, yeah, he's just done with it, man. Like the women that they've been through, so many women that have come through that show that he's just like, yeah, I can't deal with it. And honestly, dude, I can see how the fatigue would set in, man. Like, it's gotta take a lot out of you and just exhaust you, you know, as much as those guys work, you know, in terms of, you know, putting out content. Cause I know, I think Myron, between like tweeting like 4 times every hour, doing videos every day, and, you know, traveling around and stuff like that shit's gotta get exhausting, you know, just dealing with women and, you know, especially the way that he views women. I can see how that's just like a chore for him. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense, man. He's just like, dude, I don't know if Fresh and Fit would ever end. I think he would just hand the platform over to Fresh, and Fresh would just like co-host it with like Zerka or what's that other guy? What's the black guy's name? Mr. Organic. I think he would do that. They would just run it into the ground, you know, with the 30 actual viewers, and then turn on bots and just fake the whole thing. Oh man, Extra Charles, he says, I think most of the money from Rumble came from the contract, around 1 million when they used to pay for the new studio. They pay for the staff and run the show with Castle Cuck money. And that's the thing, I think they only have like about 100, man. They only have like a little bit over 100 members of the Castle Club. And I don't know, they dropped the price recently to like $17 or something briefly. I'm just like, dude, it's just like, it's got to be tough, man. Because it's like, didn't Myron say that it was going to go to like, it was going to shoot to like $90? He's like, it's never going to go back down that again. You're never going to get that. And yeah, and then you know they had to drop the price because they were just like, dude, we're not getting any new members, man. We got to do something. Cobra Tate says, Fresh and Zerka squashed the beef, dude. Here's the thing about that, man. I think that beef was they did squash it. Basically, both of them don't stand on business, and I probably would say that the whole beef was orchestrated for views. And I think Fresh is a pussy, and I think Zerka was actually trying to troll him about Sneeko, because there was a clip where he trolled him about that. Actually, yeah. Let me just pull that up real quick just so you guys know what I'm talking about, because you know me, I go on my tangents, but then I say like, yeah, we'll check that out, and then we never check it out. Let me just go ahead and get the video queued up, because I know exactly which one it is. It was all right. This one right here. I think it was this one. Too Terrified of Sneeko. This one's only like 14. Yeah.
The statements and content included in this video are jokes and for satirical entertainment purposes only.
I love that this guy used Myron's voice for this. It's perfect.
Should not be taken literally and do not reflect the actual beliefs or personal views of those depicted or involved with this production.
Think about this, right, guys?
So, guys, today we got Walter, the Goomba, once again talking about Sneeko. The Goomba is so obsessed with Sneeko. It's not even funny, bro. He cannot go a week without bringing up Sneeko in a conversation. He has to talk about Sneeko. It doesn't matter what the conversation is about. He will still find a way to bring up Sneeko. He is actually obsessed with the guy. The conversation could be about anything. Let's say, for example, about pillows, right? The Goomba will still try to come up with some slick shit to say about Sneeko. Think about this. Sneeko sleeps on a pillow, therefore, ultimately, on some level, he's a living away. Like, it doesn't make no sense. Why are you bringing up Sneeko? We're talking about pillows. Think about this. He's a leaf in the wind, and I actually don't hate Sneeko at all. I don't hate the guy. Whenever he talks about Sneeko, he always got to mention that he doesn't hate Sneeko.
You use people to get what you want and then drop them off like flies. Yeah. I mean, Sneeko, by the way. So to me, it's like, all right, when people do it to you, why are you mad?
Are you trying to say this is karma?
This is karma 10 times over. And listen, bro, I don't hate the nigga. Nothing he has I want, bro.
Guys, we all know when you're obsessed with somebody, you either love him so much or you hate him so much. And the Goomba clearly hates Sneeko, man. He despises him the same way I despise this ugly Goomba. This Barbados monster is so fake. He obviously hates Sneeko, but he doesn't want to admit it. Like, I hate Fresh, and I admit that I hate Fresh. This ugly Goomba tries so hard to come off as this nice guy who doesn't hate anybody. I'm peaceful. Think about this. I don't hate Sneeko, even though I talk shit about him almost every single day on some level. And I still see people in the comments asking, why do you hate Fresh so much? Bro, this guy's the fakest guy on the internet. He's a fraud. He hosts a self-improvement podcast for men when there is nothing masculine about this ugly Goomba. I can't just let this slide, man. If you're gonna be fake on the internet, you better expect somebody to call you out. And that's me. I am calling out the Goomba. Guys, let's be real. If Fresh admitted that he hates Sneeko, that is much more respectable than wishing the worst for somebody, but act like, think about this, I wish the best for Sneeko. Bro, stop the cap. It's like me making a video saying, I actually don't hate Fresh. I wish the best for Fresh. That's a lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, bro. I tell you guys the truth. I am preying on this Barbados monster's downfall because I know a snake when I see one, and I can assure you guys this Goomba is a big snake. He is obsessed with Sneeko, and he's also terrified of him. You guys remember when Fresh called out Sneeko to a boxing match and he backed out the same 24 hours? Yes, that actually happened. That don't even sound real, right? I think that was the first time in history that a man, a grown-ass man, called out another grown-ass man to a fight and backed out from that fight the same 24 hours. That is some coward shit. He's not only a coward, he's also a retard, because at that moment when he called out Sneeko, it's not like he actually wanted to fight. He knew good and damn well he is not fighting Sneeko, but he still called him out for the clicks. He didn't actually decide to fight Sneeko then change his mind. No, that never happened. He never even decided to fight Sneeko. He just did that for views, which made me wonder about this Goomba's dignity. I mean, let's be real.
I was so pissed, man, that fight never kicked off, man. Like, Fresh is he doesn't stand on business, man. He's just doing whatever he can to get people to watch his stupid ass fucking podcast.
Bro, he has no dignity. He has no honor. Just think about this. The fact that he did that, knowing the whole internet is gonna call him a coward and a pussy, shows that he has zero pride. He doesn't care about the internet calling him a coward. Bro, I would lose my mind. I would take that fight even if I was terrified, just to prove him wrong and stop him from calling me a coward. No man with pride is okay with making himself look like a pussy on the internet. That's Fresh. He doesn't care. Cause he's a spineless snake Goomba, bro. How can I like this guy? And when this ugly retarded Goomba backed out from that fight, he made like 20 excuses, and when he ran out of excuses, he blamed it on Sneeko. He said it was Sneeko's fault that we're not fighting.
If you're gonna say I followed,
And we tried to negotiate, did we not?
100%.
We sat for hours back and forth negotiating.
100%.
And then Sneeko, you know what's funny? You ruined it. I'm gonna show you guys how Sneeko ruined this entire event.
This whole boxing match situation was 3 months ago. Until this day, the Goomba is still making excuses on why he couldn't fight. But this time is different. Cause
Yeah, it was the timing, the schedule, the money that needed to be put up. It was just like, you know, Fresh was like, yeah, man, I'm actually have something that's going on in England or whatever. I'm going to be over there doing a podcast and stuff, and you're not giving me enough time to train, whatever. I'm like, bro, you're not going to train to fight. What are you talking about, dude?
the Goomba accidentally, unintentionally exposed himself for being terrified of Sneeko. So in this episode right here where Zerka was the guest, and by the way, Fresh and Zerka used to beef, and the reason for that beef was obviously because of the stuttering Goomba. He started attacking Zerka out of nowhere. It was probably because Zerka made fun of his stutter from time to time. It was jokes, but Fresh is very insecure when it comes to his stutter. He does not like when anyone makes fun of his stutter. And when Zerka responded to Fresh, the spineless, evil, disgusting, ugly Goomba hosted a Twitter space telling the world, trying to convince the world that Zerka is a real-life pedophile. He accused him of such a heinous crime. That's disgusting.
Streams, you should get paid for what you do. But the sad part is, my friend, when you're a pet, nobody wants to give you a deal or sign you. No one even wants to be around you. Sneeko gave you some hope. He said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm good on this edge, good on this path.
This Barbados animal hosted his Twitter space for the purpose of slandering Zerka's name. He wanted everyone to be against Zerka and hate him.
Exo Charles says, who is this YouTuber? It is Zaween. Let me show you real quick. Khalil Zaween, this guy. He makes a ton of videos on, well, he has 25 videos, but mainly on like Fresh and Fit. He hates Fresh like with a passion. And yeah, I enjoy his videos from time to time. It's pretty funny. But I just remember you're asking about Fresh and Zerka squashing the beef. This was the video that I saw when he was talking about it. So
trying to convince the world that Zerka is a real-life pedophile. He accused him of such a heinous crime. That's disgusting.
Streams, you should get paid for what you do. But the sad part is, my friend, when you're a pet, nobody wants to give you a deal or sign you. No one even wants to be around you. Sneeko gave you some hope. He said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm good on this edge. On his path.
This Barbados animal hosted his Twitter space for the purpose of slandering Zerka's name. He wanted everyone to be against Zerka and hate him, but that's not what happened. Nobody takes this ugly Goomba seriously, bro. You a stuttering Goomba. Nobody's believing you, bro. You gotta be more convincing, my dude. Me personally, if I was Zerka, I could never be around a guy like this. This guy accused him of being a pedophilia. That is actually evil. But eventually Zerka forgave him. I don't really believe that he genuinely forgave him, because stuff like that is not forgivable. And that gives you an idea of the kind of person this Barbados monster is.
Dude, I mean, it kind of shows you how both of them are kind of like fake, whatever. Because Fresh, if he has like this smoke for Zerka, you know, calling him all this like stuff, and then he still has him on the podcast, is like, what kind of credibility does, you know, Fresh have to squash the beef, whatever, after saying all this horrific shit? And then Zerka saying the same thing, saying that, you know, Fresh is useless. He's going to basically destroy the podcast. He's going to make sure that, you know, Fresh, he said he was going to do something basically to take Fresh off the podcast, whatever. And then they just squash the beef like that. So I'm just like, yeah, these guys don't stand on business, man. They're all fake for, it's all entertainment at the end of the day.
Slandering somebody just because you don't like them is a disgusting move. But anyway, so Zerka brought up Sneeko to Fresh.
This is what I was talking about.
And he low-key did that to troll Fresh, because let's be real, deep down Zerka does not like Fresh. What Fresh did is unforgivable, bro. Like, there's no way he just forgave him. In this clip we're about to watch, you can see the way Zerka talks to Fresh. He clearly doesn't take him seriously. He's trolling him.
Okay, since you're Mr. Christian, and
I will.
No, I like this. I want to forgive Gary because you inspired me right now.
Yeah.
But you got to forgive Sneeko.
Bro,
That's a good deal right here.
Hold on.
One in the chat.
Hold on. There's no hate, though.
Stop the cap.
The only thing I could think of is, like, imagine someone telling you the truth and you don't like it. Because, look at it this way, bro. If I was going to say something to you, I would say, listen, bro, but did I lie? Did I lie one time?
Fresh, here's the truth. You was stuttering bitch-ass Goomba. The logic he's using right here is so retarded. Like, why would you say something negative about your friend, even if it's true? Why would you talk negatively about your friend to the No Jumper podcast, to Adam22? Why? Like, what's the point of that? And the fucked up part is, what Fresh said about Sneeko on the No Jumper podcast was not even true.
Hold on. You went on No Jumper. That's when the beef started.
Yeah.
You said stuff that Myron didn't say, and he said, why don't you behave like Myron? That's how it all started, right?
And then we spoke on text saying, listen, I said what I said to you on this actual platform, so you know this from before.
Right.
On the podcast, in person, and on No Jumper. Nothing's changed here. I didn't say
Did he say, oh, you did say it to me face to face, or did he say it's behind
He
the
even
back?
said, yeah, I didn't say that you messed my career. I just said that, like, don't talk about my career. And I said, okay, you know what? As a friend, I'll stop. Then
Did you stop? Actually,
I did.
Did he actually stop?
I did. But then you know what happened?
Did he actually stop?
The next day, he makes a video saying, Fresh is a monkey, he's retarded. I'm like, all right, nigga, I'll let slide. Then again, I said, okay, bro, you want to play games? I can play games.
I don't remember him saying anything that bad.
Oh, no, I saw the clips.
Stop the cap.
The funny part is like, this doesn't mean shit to me because, bro, I don't get anything from this.
Yeah.
It's like, roasting Sneeko, I don't get like, what's the benefit? So
when you're at 100 viewers, there's some benefit. Right?
I mean, dude.
You're at 100 viewers. That's going to benefit you. Hey, guys, we got nothing to talk about. Gary, what should we do? Attack Sneeko. I know how that went. Well,
Yeah, it was more like 30 viewers, dude. Like they barely can break 30 viewers on the regular. And until Fresh will do this, he'll like pick up his phone and he'll start doing something, and then the numbers will just like jump up and like, oh, he turned on the bots, man. Here they come.
Zerka, you're wrong. It wasn't 100 viewers. It was 30 viewers. Those 100 viewers,
right there, 30 people watching.
They're probably bought it.
Yeah. No, if you think about it.
And you know what? Fresh will do the dirty trick of putting Myron in the thumbnail. If it's like was it average girls versus average guys, and they'll put Myron there, and Myron wasn't even in the studio. But they did that as like a dirty tactic. If people tune in, as soon as people like tuned in, they saw the video, they clicked right off because they're like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Fresh won. Not only did he get all the beef and lore done, he went to 5,000 views with me yesterday.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you're the mastermind. You're the evil guy here.
Listen.
Like, at the end of the day, everyone works on Fresh's plantation. We all work for him. It doesn't make sense. I go back home. He's going to attack me again. He's gonna do all this again, and it's like
You think so?
dude. It's
You think
either
I'm
you
gonna-
or Gary. Someone has to be the mastermind.
Those 5,000 were all there for Zerka. Nobody cares about Fresh's opinion, bro. When he's alone on his podcast, how many viewers he get? 30 viewers? Like, even those 30 viewers are probably bots. And Zerka's clearly trolling this retard, calling him a mastermind. There's nothing going on in this coconut brain. This Goomba's thinking doesn't get past BBC and Chinese hookers. And Zerka knows whenever this Goomba finds an opportunity to hate on him and attack him again, he will. He's a spineless Goomba.
I got shit to do. I basically said on the show, listen, guys, I gotta go to the UK, do all the shit for for Fresh and Fit. So I won't be here. So when they said do it in 2 weeks, I'm like, bro, either you're trying to f me up by having no time to train, or you just want to have that to say I backed out the fight. But there's no actual concrete thing.
Wasn't that the whole point? That
Yeah, but you challenged him to a boxing match, so and it just seemed like it was something that had to be immediately done right then and there. You know, like you didn't say, hey, we're gonna do this in like 6 weeks, we're gonna do this in 6 months. You like, I challenge you to a boxing match. And it was like within the same 24 hours, it got back to Sneeko. Sneeko accepted the challenge, said, okay, let's set it up. And then in that same 24 hours, you backed out of it. So it's like, come on, Fresh, you're like double speaking your words here when really you're the one who set out the challenge and then you backed out. So you're a bitch.
it happens really quickly. Wasn't that what they were trying to do?
No.
Oh, really?
He had a fight card for a certain date. So he wanted to fit that date, but I wasn't ready. You get what I'm saying?
So what did you say on text? Is there text proving that you said?
Bro, I got so much.
There's text
Bro,
saying, "Give me
I got
time to
text
fight."
from his manager Tav, from fucking
Kane.
Kane.
Oh, so every
Aiden,
snake
Sneeko.
DM'd you.
Bro, if I need to put proof out there, nigga,
Yeah.
they're fucking toasted because I got everything here.
So what was supposed to happen? 6-month training shit?
So this is what we want to right? Time to train for myself, and then we actually do the fight proper time. Not 2 weeks when I didn't train, bro.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yeah, he didn't train. He went to freaking Disney World. I don't know if you guys remember where there was a post that he posted, I think it was on X, of him at Disney World. I'm like, dude, aren't you supposed to be training for a fight? What are you doing? Grown man at Disney World, no kids.
So, but I mean, all in all, it worked out. And
Yeah, it worked out. You didn't have to fight. You didn't have to stand on business. You got out of it. You weaseled out of it.
I break a bag anyway from doing other shit, so it's fine.
I feel like you guys, even if you decide to do that fight, the bag would just be bigger because it's a lot of lore and energy there. I never want to watch influencers fight. I don't know what it is. It's never. I would watch you and Sneeko. I would watch that.
Yeah?
I would tune in. I'd react to that. That bag better be fat.
Gotta
And
be big.
Aiden's doing another brand risk. So what do you want to say to him? Because he's gonna see this.
Well, Aiden,
We're talking 150,
tell the
bro.
truth.
We're talking 150.
keep it
Aiden.
real and keep it kosher.
What the fuck was that answer, dude? Like, he was saying, hey, we're going to probably set up another one, dude. Like, what do you want to tell him? Because he's probably watching. And he says that. Basically, he's like, yeah, we're not fighting, man, no matter what.
Fresh, you can have Fresh for 150. Give him something.
Look how nervous this ugly Goomba got when he said Aiden is watching. And what the fuck did he just say? Think about this. Aiden, to tell the truth, keep it real, keep it kosher. Winking at me like that, don't wink. It should be illegal for an ugly creature like this to wink at me. Do not wink at me. It is disrespectful for an ugly creature like this to wink at me. Even through the screen, I feel disrespected. Zerka told you Aiden is watching. For you to say how much you want to get paid, not to wink at me, you ugly retard. This winky face Goomba clip alone proves that Fresh doesn't want to fight Sneeko. He is terrified. He could have literally said 300,000. Maybe Aiden would pay that because it is a big fight. But instead, he want to wink at the camera. Like, what kind of cringe shit is this, bro? I'm actually cringing, bro. That's disgusting. Bro, if I was a girl and this ugly Barbados monster winked at me like this, I am calling 911. This is harassment.
Time to train. 150,000. Do you mind if it's crypto? You don't mind.
I do want Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Michael Saylor said you should have one Bitcoin at least by 2020.
You're not even freaking engaging with the conversation, dude. You're like talking about people with Bitcoin or whatever. He asked you a question like, would you take payment in Bitcoin for the fight? And he's just like, well, I heard from this guy you should have one Bitcoin by 2020. I'm just like, shut up, dude.
150,000, you fight in 2 months.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
More? We need more. All right, well.
No. He doesn't want to get punched in the face because he's a bitch.
Tell me my cut first.
You're gonna think about this, Fresh? Weren't you the one that called out Sneeko? He wasn't the one that called you out. You are the one who called out Sneeko. And now you're thinking about this. I am willing to bet my life Fresh would suck a fat BBC for less than 150K. And he wouldn't fight Sneeko for 150K. Bro, you are a coward. And you shouldn't talk about fighting ever again. You coward, ugly, stuttering Goomba.
I think the truth has been told here. You guys have known the truth for a while anyway, because I don't cap about anything.
Stop the cap.
You don't cap about anything. What are you talking about, dude? You lied about the bracelet, dude. You lied about a lot of shit. Hell no, dude. This guy, man. I don't understand how this guy has supporters. It's like, dude, you lie so goddamn much, bro.
In essence, bro, do I hate Sneeko? No. I don't hate Sneeko. I don't hate...
Fuck coconuts. Where's the cocaine? Listen, man, coconuts are here to stay. Wait, what? Oh, that doesn't make sense. It got cut off.
I've talked to Sneeko.
Oh wait, W Fresh and Zerka for squashing the beef. Don't let coconuts come between you two again.
It doesn't seem like he hates you, but he's pissed that he didn't get that boxing thing because he doesn't want to.
It's his fault.
He doesn't want to fight a stranger. If he fights a stranger, nobody gives a fuck about that.
It's his fault that it didn't happen.
No, it's not his fault that it didn't happen. You backed out like a bitch, bro.
Stop the cap.
I don't know. I don't know who to believe. I gotta hear you guys talk it out first.
Well, you can see the text, bro. I don't. It's right there.
Yeah, Fresh, it is Sneeko's fault. He's the one thinking about 150K payday, not you. Yeah, Fresh, you are right. It is Sneeko's fault.
Sneeko would fight him for free, man. He already said he would.
That's why you guys are not fighting. Shut the fuck up. Even Zerka's like, no way I'm believing this one, but he's being nice about it. Like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.
Shout out to that creator, man. Zawil Queen, man. Shout out to you, man. Always putting out the great, fresh content, dude. Let me go back. All right, so we only got a few more minutes left. I'm actually over scheduled by about 16 minutes. So let's see if we can just get to the end of this.
Some of them wanted to fuck me. Others laid there so stiff they was virgins and didn't know what to do with it. So I rode them and I took control. Each sexual encounter is different. I don't care how it's worded. I just loved it and was so fucking wet. So that was the day.
That was the day.
But Bonnie's a unique individual with a unique set of talents. But by and large,
oh, Cook Bay says, Camp, would you box Fresh? I would absolutely box Fresh, dude. Absolutely. And you know what? I would say, look, man, I would give him 2 weeks. 2 weeks, man. It was like you can train as much as you want. Give him 2 weeks, dude. I would totally box Fresh. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And I wouldn't need $150,000 either, man. I would just do it, man.
Gangster movie, unique set of skills.
She is, yeah. She's Taken. But that went over your head because that was such a really good joke, Taken. Get it?
Yeah.
But
I still don't get it.
But by and large, when women are saying they fucked the man, and when society changes to the point where that becomes the normal lexicon, the normal language, when women are saying they fucked the man as opposed to being fucked by the man, women mentality has changed from giving themselves to the man to extracting from the man. And you can apply that to the financials, of course, but you can also apply that to the emotionality and to the entire relationship as a whole. It's a symbol of the masculinization of women, basically, when women say they fucked the guy, when really it's the other way around. Women used to see it as I gave myself to him. Women don't see that anymore. And you can apply that to relationships and society, and you can apply that to everything. You can extrapolate that out, of course.
So what's this about you having a sex demon inside you, Bonnie?
Well, apparently I've got soulless eyes. What do you think? And wait, sorry, I picture this. Me on my knees looking up to you. Tell me if they're soulless, or tell me if you're hard.
Do you have a soul?
Yeah.
When's the last time you cried?
A long time ago.
I could say the same, so I have to be careful. But I'm a man, you know. I don't think you're soulless, no. I think that, I don't think you have a sex demon inside of you either. I think you've made a very conscious decision, and I think you have separated your emotions from the logical side of your brain so that you can win in the logical realm, which is actually quite a masculine thing to do by and large. Men often ignore their emotions to win.
Yeah.
I think that's all you've done. And I do that every day. Most men do that every day, to ignore their emotions to win. Men give up their bodies all day long. I give up my body fighting. I risk.
All right, guys. So we have reached the time limit. I do want to thank you guys for hanging out with me and going through this. And I appreciate all of the hustlers showing up. Thank you so much, you guys. Like I said, that video that I am editing is coming out, expected to come out Sunday around 1 p.m. So keep an eye out for that. I'll see you guys next week. Appreciate you guys stopping out. You guys have a good evening. If you haven't liked the video, make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Peace. This is Camp Hustle 1. Out.